Detroit Red Wing Hockey is brought to you by your AMC and Jeep dealers, home of the AMC Concord, Pacer, Spirit, and Jeep vehicles. And by Labatt's. For beer at its finest, call for Labatt's. And by Bank of the Commonwealth, trying hardest to help. And by Little Caesars, a winner any way you slice it.
And here again from the Chicago Stadium, the Detroit Red Wings and the Chicago Blackhawks. Playing only the third game of the season, the Red Wings with a victory and a tie in the first two. And Sid Abel, one of the key figures in the games played thus far, has been a fellow named Vaslav Nedomansky.
Well, Ned is playing a hot hand now, but he had a hot hand earlier in the season. December the 10th was the last time that we played Chicago. Ned scored 3 goals. He has scored 5 goals in the 2 games they've played, so he is the instrumental factor as far as the Red Wings are concerned, but he is their big scorer. He is the Wings' big scorer right now and is playing terrific hockey.
35 goals on the season, 9 in his last 9 games, the story of Vaslav Nedomansky. Another young fellow who has joined the line with Nedomansky and with Dale McCourt and has thrived on it is Danny LeBratton, the young man out of Sweden. Sid, what a pretty skater.
Well, he's probably the nicest skater, and this is saying over Paul Woods and Danny Bolduc and fellows like that. LeBratton can really pick them up and lay down, and he's just a picture to watch. He is scoring goals, playing very well, and I really do believe it's Nedomansky and LeBratton complement one another. They're both Europeans, and they pass the puck so well.
It's Danny with 6 goals and 5 assists in the 10 games he's been with the Nedomansky-McCourt combination. Well, the two teams out onto the ice, and we'll be back with more after we pause now for this.
Dreams fly by on a blue winter sky. Let the feeling surround you. Dreams come along. This is where you belong. Let the feeling surround you. Take a while and share a smile. Snowy and blue. This magic winter moon.
Something exciting is happening in small cars. AMC's new Spirit DL.
Let the Spirit move you. Let the Spirit move you.
Sporty looks, corduroy bucket seats, and a sleek instrument panel.
Let the Spirit move you. Let the Spirit move you.
Get into a great-looking, smooth-riding car and put some spirit in your life. American Motors has the Spirit.
Let the Spirit move you.
What do you get with your interest from most banks when you deposit money?
Next.
What do you get with your interest when you deposit money in Bank of the Commonwealth?
I got a piano.
I got a piano.
I got these tools. I got a watch.
At Bank of the Commonwealth, when you deposit as little as $1,000 in a 7-year, 7% time certificate, you'll not only earn big interest, but also a big bonus, some bigger than others.
Trying hardest to help. That's the Bank of the Commonwealth.
Well, I don't know if they're just a little anxious here in Chicago to get things going or not, but they're a minute or two ahead of time. The Red Wings will be starting Jimmy Rutherford again in the nets. Jimmy, who's held a pretty hot hand lately, and that's Tony Esposito on the right of your screen. He'll be in the goal, the veteran for the Chicago Blackhawks. Jimmy Rutherford, who in the last 8 starts has won 4 and tied another 2, has only 2 losses. And this, of course, our first look at Chicago now with the addition of 3 players out of Atlanta, make it 5 out of Atlanta. One of them on the ice right now is Tom Lysiak as the play went into the Chicago zone offside. As we say, they actually should be playing the national anthem just about now. And they beat the gun a little bit. Lysiak is number 12. You see him there. He came in the trade we'll be talking about a little bit later. He has Bully on one wing and Grant Mulvey on the other. The wings have Willie Huber and Tommy Bergman. Back along the defense, Errol Thompson, San Laurent, and Polonich up front. Polonich kicked it into the Chicago zone. Bully goes in behind his own goal. San Laurent was called down, and there'll be a penalty coming up to Bully. And the Red Wings are going to pick up a quick power play opportunity. And the stoppage of play will be back in just a moment.
Little Caesar's Pizza, tastiest in town. A winner anyway slice it all the way around.
The carry-outs are good and hot, great for nighttime snacks. Or sit down at Little Caesar's, just order and relax.
If you want variety, there's a family in for you. It's a winner, come in and see Little Caesar's Pizza.
See your local TV book for a free pizza coupon.
Well, the puck goes in the corner, and Andre St. Laurent comes in to make a play. Bully just puts his arms right around him and pulls him back onto his back and gets a penalty with Hood standing right, perfect position.
Bully argued about the penalty, but it looked rather evident. Now here's Dale McCord trying to center it. That was broken up by Bob Murray. Murray of Chicago goes into the corner, knocked away from him, and Dave Logan gave McCord a pretty good belt. Puck held in now by Reed Larson. McCord with a shot, and Esposito got the left skate on that and kicked it away. Now Logan goes chasing in behind his own goal. Bully went off for holding at the 25-second mark as Chicago clears down the ice and in behind the Detroit goal. Puck bounced to the side of the net. Rutherford hands it back now to Willie Huber. Nedemansky, LeBratton, and McCord up front. This is Reed Larson. Now Larson winding up from center ice. That was stopped by Esposito. Murray in after the rebound. McCord didn't get to it. And it comes back into the Detroit end. Heading back after it now, Willie Huber. A minute left in the Detroit power play. Dale McCord coming out center ice. He sends Nedemansky over the line. Ned pulls up at the left point. Nedemansky drops it back to Willie Huber. Huber moving in off to McCord. One pass too many there. Danny LeBratton tried to center it. That's broken up. Came back to LeBratton, and a second time he failed to get it out. Reggie Kerr brings it out to center ice, goes over the line into the Detroit zone. He took the shot, and Rutherford got a piece of that, and it ended up in the crowd.
Well, Danny LeBratton, Ned Nedemansky, they tried one pass too many. They were in perfect position down in the Chicago zone. But it just proves on breakaways, Kerr comes down, and he just out-hustled and out-muscled big Willie Huber and got around the outside and took the shot, and Jimmy Rutherford got his elbow up to deflect it up into the crowd.
Willie Huber was a fellow that really had a good scoring opportunity, and he elected to throw the pass out in front. So the face-off stays to the right of the Detroit goal. A half a minute left in the penalty. In behind his own net is Willie Huber. Now Huber out on the right side. Dennis Polonich, Thompson, and San Laurent up front now. Puck sent into the corner. Going in after it is Coral. It's stopped by Errol Thompson. He drove the shot, and Esposito stopped that one. Digging into the corner, Greg Fox. He was checked. Polonich dug it away from the referee, Bruce Hood. Back on the line now, Tony Bergman off to Willie Huber. Pass too far in front of him. That's John Marks. Stopped at the line by Thompson. Penalty is over. Chicago back at full strength. And the Blackhawks pick it up. Ted Bully, who just came out of the penalty box, the puck came over the line and then back in offside. Well, a good crowd here at the Chicago Stadium. They're not getting that 16,666 like they did for years, but good crowd this Sunday afternoon, and a lot of them from Detroit.
A lot from Detroit, and there are a lot of kids here, Bruce. This is stick day here in Chicago, and they're giving, I think, the first 5,000 youngsters hockey sticks, so there'll be a lot of noise.
Face-off just out over the Chicago blue line now. San Laurent, Polonich, and Thompson. Lysiak comes out to center Bully and Grant Mulvey again for Chicago. Back along the defense, Fox. And now O'Connell, Mike O'Connell, over on the right side defense. Bobby Crom in behind the Detroit bench. The Wings are playing without Greg Jolly today. Jolly pulled up in the game yesterday against St. Louis with a muscle spasm in his back, and it's still bothering him. Now Fox sent it out to center ice, taken right there by Errol Thompson off to Harper. Harper scoops it back in, heading back after it. O'Connell in behind his own goal. Mike O'Connell will come out on the right side. Playing it ahead now to Mulvey. Mulvey out at center ice to Ted Bully. They played it over the line. Dennis Polonich goes in behind Jimmy Rutherford. Polonich was off stride, and Sam Marat took a bump from Bully. Bully went to the ice, and Harper comes up with a puck. Coming out with it now, Terry Harper. Polonich on the right side. He and Lysiak go into the corner after it. Lysiak tipped it away. It's dumped ahead to Bully. Bully didn't control it. Here's Polonich with it. Dennis Polonich trying to work away from Fox, and Fox hauled him down. Now the Hawks start back. The puck will go the length of the ice. There'll be an icing call as John Amell is back to touch it. And we'll be back with more of the action in just a moment.
Hey, y'all. Gratiot Auto Supply is having a truckload tire and wheel sale. Let's unload them, guys.
Now, 4-ply poly white wall tires are just $98. White wagon wheels are as low as $27.95, and sand grabber tires are as low as $41.95.
And now you can save up to $20 more because Gratiot will mount your tires and wheels free. High-speed balancing is also available, too. Come on down to Gratiot's truckload tire and wheel sale. You'll save big. Pass it on.
Bob Pulford behind the Chicago bench. His little problem working all these new Atlanta players, 5 of them into his lineup.
Pat Ribble, I think, is on the injured list, is not in uniform. Now it's Perry Miller dumping it into the corner in the Chicago zone, going after it Murray. Now Murray has Reg Kerr at center ice. Back to Murray. He was stopped by Paul Woods. This is Reed Larson. Over on the left side, the pass way out in front of Woods. And coming out with it now is Kerr. Into the Detroit zone. That shot tipped away by Rutherford. It was kept in, and Larson goes in behind the Detroit net. He's there with Bordelot. J.P. Bordelot and Larson, and now Kerr dug it away. Knocked in along the board by Perry Miller. Billy Hogebaum gets into it. Puck still didn't come out. Here's Kerr with it. Reg Kerr trying to set up Dave Logan. Logan swings it in behind the Detroit net again. Bordelot goes back there, and the puck came out, but Perry Miller will take it. Now Miller ahead to Paul Woods. Woods gets it over the line. He tried to set up Bolduc. Bolduc was knocked off stride. There's a chance for Reed Larson, and the shot was knocked down before it got through. Hogebaum goes after it. Billy Hogebaum to Woods. The shot deflected to the corner. Danny Bolduc with it. He tried to set up Woods. Bolduc took a heavy bump from Logan. Now it's Paul Woods. He's knocked down by Kerr. Here's McCourt handing it back now to Reed Larson with a shot that went wide. And the puck in along the back of the net. They'll bring the face-off out over the Chicago blue line. And Sid, I'm here to tell you that this line of Hogebaum, Bolduc, and Paul Woods in the last 3-4 games, I think, has been an exciting line.
They have forced the issue. They're all good skaters. Reed Larson misses the net here with a shot that could have been dangerous because the screen was out in front of Esposito. But they continually harass the other team and move in deep in the zone, and they're all buzzers, and they force the other team to make mistakes.
Stan Mikita on for the first time. He's got John Marks and Cliff Coral. Play goes off to the side of the Detroit net. Rutherford cleared it beyond LeBratton. That shot from the line. Ooh, that deflected away just out in front. The stick of Mike O'Connell. Now the wings. That's LeBratton. Danny LeBratton tried to leave it for McCourt. McCourt circles back to his own blue line. Drops it off for Nedomansky. He lost it to Mikita. Now Stan Mikita playing it back in. Tommy Bergman knocked it away. McCourt and Mikita. And it came back to Tommy Bergman with a shot that went wide. In behind the goal, Nedomansky. He put it all the way down the ice. We have played 5 minutes, 45 seconds of the first period. No score. The Wings have carried much of the play. Now Tommy Bergman. Bergman tipped it to the line. That shot fired there. Rutherford knocked it away as O'Connell let another good one go. Nedomansky, he's hit heavily by Fox. Worked it out to center ice. Mikita and McCourt. Puck came back to Fox. Back out center ice. Here's Nedomansky taking it back in. His pass behind Dale McCourt. Fox pulled down Nedomansky. Back over the line, Mikita. He just dumped it into the corner, and J.P. LeBlanc will go in after it. Now LeBlanc starts out. J.P. Coming over the line into the Chicago zone. Into the corner with it, looking for somebody. Back it came to Nedomansky, and he shot it over the top of the goal. In behind the net, it's lodged there again, and the face-off out over the Chicago line. No score. We're back in just a moment.
Let the spirit move you. Let the spirit move you.
There's a new excitement in small cars, AMC's new Spirit DL.
Let the spirit move you. Let the spirit move you.
Sporty looks, corduroy bucket seats, and a sleek instrument panel. American Motors has the Spirit.
See all the new AMC cars for $79 at your Metro Detroit AMC dealers.
Greg Carroll moves out now, and Reed Larson has come up to play the right wing on the line with Carroll and J.P. LeBlanc. Puck went all the way to Esposito. That's Murray sending it out to center ice. Bob Kelly goes in after it. He put it off to the side of the net. Going after it, Carroll. Now Greg Carroll of Detroit coming back out center ice. Here's Carroll over the line, dropped it for LeBlanc. J.P. LeBlanc sent it back to Carroll in the corner. Carroll out in front. LeBlanc just failed to reach it. Here's Harper. Terry Harper dumped it in behind the net. And Murray goes in after it. LeBlanc knocked his pass down. It came back to the line for Hamel. And his shot blocked by Alan Dago comes out center ice. Here now is Carroll turning at his own line, handing it back to Harper. Terry Harper to Carroll. Greg Carroll flipped it right to Esposito. He handles that easily. Dumped it into the corner. It's played back toward the line, and the Hawks come out. At center ice, Mike Walton of Chicago clearing it in behind the Detroit goal. LeBlanc goes into the corner after it, being checked there by Dago, and Harper took it. Lost it, picked it up a second time. Now LeBlanc swinging it in behind his own goal for Jean Hamel. Hamel, he and Dago collided along the board. Dago went down, and the puck is locked there, then kicked away by Carroll. Greg Carroll firing it over on the right side. Reed Larson, he's given a bump along the boards by Logan. Here's Dago, and his pass broken up, and Larson heads back. Reed Larson over the line into the Chicago zone. Wings are changing on the move, so there was nobody up with the pass to the open wing. Kerr sliding it off to the side of the Detroit net. Tommy Bergman comes back after it. He played it over on the left side, too far for Thompson. And the puck knocked down by San Laurent. He starts Thompson out. Harold Thompson over the line, trying to go around O'Connell, couldn't do it. Coming right back, Reggie Kerr. And Kerr, given a bump by Hoover, got away from him. That puck rolled to Rutherford, and he holds on to it. And the play will stay to the right of the Detroit goal. Back in just a moment.
It's special.
That looks really nice and cool.
It's special. Tastes the best special.
Looks refreshing. I can tell you, it's got a Labatt's taste.
Yeah?
And it's a real Canadian taste.
Has it got body?
That's it. It's got body.
It's special. Tastes the best special.
And yet it has less than 99 calories in a bottle.
Tastes the best special.
Face-off will be in the circle to the right of the Detroit goal. San Laurent in against Reggie Kerr. We played 8.5 minutes of the first period. Now here's Greg Fox with a shot. It went wide. Bordelot shot blocked by Tommy Bergman, and now Errol Thompson comes out with San Laurent. Thompson was hauled down. Puck came back to Willie Huber, ahead to Polonich. Polonich and Huber. Fox took a run at Polonich, missed him. Polonich put it out in front. It comes back to Tommy Bergman, and a shot by Thompson, and that's deflected right to the goal. Esposito knocks it away. Polonich in the corner. He fired the shot. There's going to be a penalty coming up to Fox. He had a pretty good grip on San Laurent, and he'll go off for interference, and the Wings have their second power play chance.
And the Wings are dominating this first period. Polonich had an excellent chance to get a rebound and put it up over Esposito. Tony Esposito is one of the outstanding goaltenders in the league, but he does go down to his hands and knees an awful lot, and if the Wings are aware of putting the puck upstairs, he can be beat up high.
Greg Fox went all the way over to the bench and took a seat there, and which is sort of an indication that I can't believe it.
Well, he got caught, no doubt, interfering. Had Dennis Polonich, when he come around from behind the net, spotted Errol Thompson. Errol Thompson was standing just off to the left of the net all by himself, but he elected to shoot instead.
Face off in the circle to the right of Tony Esposito. Puck came back. McCourt fired that one and deflected away. Dug out by Sam Leroy to Thompson, and he stopped. Big save by Esposito. Now Murray fired it out to center ice. And Errol Thompson, who's looking for his 300th National Hockey League point, came very close to getting it. Willie Huber. Now to Dale McCourt. He was turned around by Coral. Coral took it away. That's John Marks, number 11. It came back to the line, out to center ice with Bob Murray holding it there. Now Murray is going to carry it. He and Marks, the two of them over the line. Dale McCourt had Murray tied up a bit. Puck came right to the goal mouth. And coming up with it, McCourt. Dennis Polonich back into the Chicago zone. Polonich put it right on the stick of Coral, who shoots it back into the Detroit end, and Willie Huber's back after it. Dennis Polonich lost it this time to Coral again, who shoots it in behind the Detroit net. A minute remaining in the penalty. The Wings have not been dangerous, with the one exception of Errol Thompson's efforts. Now Dale McCourt trying to pull away from Kerr. Kerr knocked the stick out of his hand. And the Wings are making one-man rushes and not getting over the Chicago blue line. This is Bolduc. Down the right side, Danny Bolduc. Play went in. Very close to being offside, but evidently not so. Billy Hogabaum. Here's Hogabaum setting up McCourt with a shot, and that was knocked away by Esposito. And Kerr swings it down the ice. 20 seconds left in the penalty. Now Dale McCourt coming out again. He and Huber the point men. McCourt playing it off the boards in behind the Chicago net. O'Connell went in after it, dumped it ahead to Daigle. He was stopped by Dale McCourt. And then Daigle took it away and shoots it down the ice, and the penalty is over as Fox comes back on. Teams are at full strength. Willie Huber ahead to Paul Woods. Now Woods carried over the line. Here's Woods going through, and he was stopped by Esposito. That puck is outside the net, but Billy Hogabaum is in there with the Chicago player, and the face-off is going to stay to the left side of the Blackhawk goal.
An unbelievable play by Paul Woods. How he got through, he just bounced right through the middle of the defense, up on one leg, did a little pirouette, puck come over, and I watch Hogabaum after Esposito makes the save on Wood. Hogabaum gets the puck right at his feet, and he can't put it in.
And it was Bully who then drove him into the net. And this line of Hogabaum, Woods, and Bolduc continue to play well. Bolduc setting up Larson, now to Hogabaum. He sent it off to the side of the net. Mike O'Connell played it to the boards. Hogabaum stopped that. It came back to Larson, a weak shot. And there goes Woods digging into the corner, knocked down by O'Connell. Bolduc is dumped. And the puck sent out center ice. Larson has to wait for his team to come back on side. Didn't do it, but Lysiak will bring it out. Tom Lysiak around Miller. Centered him right to the goal crease. Bully back on the line. Murray took the shot. Moving with it now, Mulvey. And his centering pass knocked away. Perry Miller played it out center ice again. And the Hawks will take it there. Shooting it back in, Grant Mulvey. In behind the Detroit goal, Reed Larson. Now Larson starts out at center ice. A one-man rush. The Wings are changing their forward line. Here's Carroll. And he was stopped. Puck kept in by Miller. He plays it to LeBratton. Now Greg Carroll in the corner. Carroll's pass knocked away. And Nedemansky keeps it in by clearing it, rolling it in behind the net. Fox went in after it, out on the right side to Mulvey. 7.5 minutes to go in the first period with no score. Puck sent into the Detroit zone. John Hamel goes in after it. Hamel played it over on the right side to Nedemansky. He's bumped by Fox. Greg Fox clearing it behind the Detroit net. Rutherford over on the left side. It came to the point. Murray fired the shot there over the top of the goal. Now Mike Walton, number 16, brings it back out. All the way to his own line, hands it off to Dave Logan. That's Kelly with it, back to Logan. Carroll takes it away, took the shot, and it was stopped by Murray. Danny LeBratton, he lost it and coming out with a Daigle. Now Kelly Big Bob Kelly over the line into the Detroit zone. Goes to the corner with Harper behind the Detroit goal. Then he was checked by Harper. Danny LeBratton off to the ice by Kelly. Now it goes in behind the net again. Came out in front right to Nedemansky. LeBratton moving down the left side. Danny LeBratton over the line. Here's LeBratton with it, setting up Nedemansky with a shot. That was blocked. Nedemansky is dumped. And the Hawks are throwing their weight around. Here's Daigle. He's hooked by John Hamel. There'll be a penalty coming up to Detroit. While Hamel goes in, we pause for the trip.
I own this place. But tonight, no more work. Tonight is celebration, because tomorrow I go back to Greece. You know how? Because my friends at Bank of the Commonwealth, they helped me to start this place when other banks do not. Now, I go back to Greece and my cousins, they think I am big shot. I am not big shot, but at Bank of the Commonwealth, they treat me like a big shot.
Big shot.
Trying hardest to help. That's the Bank of the Commonwealth.
Super 6 Tire Centers brings you moments to remember. 3 former members of the Detroit Red Wings picked up 7 scoring points in a single NHL game. Can you name at least 2 of them? Well, John Hamel goes off for hooking at 13:42. And now Chicago have their first power play chance to face off to the right of the Detroit goal. Blackhawks have been throwing their weight around rather effectively. Mike Walton off to Mikita. Dan Mikita's pass to Rutherford. He kicks it into the corner. Harper goes in there with Filippov. It came back to Mikita with a shot, and Rutherford grabs that. And he made himself some kind of a move on Stan Mikita.
Well, this is where Stan Mikita is dangerous. He comes out of the corner. Nobody picks him up. That was a deflection earlier. Now he goes back in the corner, picks up the puck, walks out, and nobody challenges him. And he gets in perfect scoring position. And Jimmy Rutherford caught it. Glove hand. Beautiful save.
Harper is replaced now by Reed Larson. The Wings have Dale McCourt with J.P. LeBlanc, Miller, and Larson. Mikita's having quite a talk with referee Bruce Hood. Sid, what do you think that's all about?
Well, I really wouldn't know. He wasn't interfered with. He walked out of the corner. Whether there was someone holding a player out in front of the net that he felt there was maybe interference should have been called.
So McCourt and Mikita. Dale McCourt drove it into the corner. Perry Miller, first man in. He fired it to the line. It's kept in by Murray. Right back to Miller, and this time he finds the opening and shoots it the length of the ice. 1.5 minutes left in the penalty to John Hano. No score in the game. 5:45 to go in the first period. That's Bob Murray, number 6. Pass tipped away by Larson, but picked up by Filippov. Going in after it, LeBlanc. J.P. tipped it along the boards. Mikita sent it back to Mike Walton. Walton holding it there. Off to Mikita in the circle. Right out in front. A quick shot by Lysiak, and Rutherford got in front of that. Pretty play by the Hawks, and a great save again by Rutherford.
There's again. Mikita takes a little pass from Walton and spots Lysiak right out in the slot by himself. Lysiak didn't get that much wood on it. I think he hurried a little bit. Swished it right along the ice, and through the traffic, Jimmy Rutherford went down to his hands and knees and made the save. Jimmy Rutherford has been hot. And when a goaltender is hot, you can get away with a lot of things because they make that big save for you and get things turned around.
Now the face-off stays in the circle off to the right of the Detroit goal with still 1 minute and 4 seconds left in the Detroit penalty. Dale McCourt and Mikita. Mikita wins the draw. Walton with a shot. Rutherford grabs that. He holds on to it, and Mikita right there at the doorstep. So the face-off to the right of the Detroit goal again. Hey, hockey fans, let's turn a break in the action into a refreshment break. Simply say, I'd rather Vernors. Remember, whatever you do, don't you get caught with your Vernors down. Again, Mikita wins the draw. Walton at the left point. Dumped it off the side of the circle to Filippov, a newcomer from Atlanta. Filippov in behind the goal. It goes to the corner to Lysiak. Now it's Mikita with it. Dan Mikita turning away from one check. Back on the line. Now O'Connell hands it off. Lysiak took the shot, and it deflected off Tony Bergman. Filippov digging it out of the corner. With it is Lysiak. Now Lysiak. He sends it back to Walton. Mike Walton to Lysiak, and he hits the side of the net with it. Here's Lysiak in the corner. It got away, and Woods will skate it out. Paul Woods goes into the Chicago zone, trying to work around Walton. He did. He took the shot, and Esposito had to be sharp on that. Good effort by Paul Woods. Puck all the way down the ice. Willie Huber's after it, and there'll be an icing call as he touches it. A good break for the Wings.
Well,
7 seconds left in the Detroit penalty.
Jimmy Rutherford come up with another big save off Lysiak, but just shows when you have a power play and you have forwards playing at a defensive position or the post. Woods caught Walton back at the blue line. He just went around the outside of him, and Esposito had to be sharp, or the Wings would have scored a shorthanded goal. Jimmy Rutherford is playing the hot hand. Here's a pass going across to Lysiak, and he hit the side of the net just off to the post.
So the face-off will be to the left side of Esposito. LeBlanc and Hogebaum as penalty killers now, with Larson and Perry Miller and John Hamel standing up in the penalty box with 7 seconds remaining. No score. Hogebaum in against Kerr now. Turning with it is Logan. Logan played it off to Reg Kerr. Back to Dave Logan it goes. Now to Kelly. The Wings are back at full strength as Hamel is on. Here now is Kerr shooting it to the side of the Detroit net. Came right out in front, so Rutherford sent it into the corner. Bolduc took a bump there, but coming out is Larson. Reed Larson with Hogebaum trailing. Larson over the line. Put it right on the stick of Kerr. And Reg Kerr clearing it ahead to Kelly. It was tipped away going into the Detroit zone. Turning with it is J.P. LeBlanc. Kelly took a swipe at him. Here's Perry Miller. Back it came to Larson, and Kelly then swung the stick at Miller. Now it's Larson. Center ice to J.P. LeBlanc. Over the line with a shot wide. Bolduc was digging in after it, and Esposito knocked it away. Hogebaum took a glove along the face of Dave Logan. And the puck cleared ahead to Kerr. Kerr's pass to Bordeleau. He was in offside, and the play will come to center ice. 3:26 to go, and a scoreless first period. Will be back in a moment.
This week on the Joe O'Terry Show, Life After Death, with a man who claims to have died twice and returned from the grave. A man who received a phone call from his dead grandmother. A parapsychologist, a psychic researcher, and the owner of a haunted house. Plus the world of advertising, from sugar-coated children's cereals to the selling of sugar-coated politicians. Tough questions, straight answers on the Joe O'Terry Show tonight at 10 on TV 50.
Bruce Martin along with Sid Abel, our producer Marvin Hughes. From here at Chicago, a scoreless first period thus far, a little more than 3 minutes to play. Terry Harper's pass off now to Andre St. Laurent. St. Laurent turning back at his own blue line. Now Andre dumped it into the Chicago zone. Mike O'Connell back to get it off to Kerr. Kerr lifts it down the ice, but off the Detroit player. There's no icing. Thompson took a pretty good bump it along the boards from Bordeleau. They jam the puck there and hold it for a face-off, which will be to the left side of the Detroit goal.
This is one definite thing, that Chicago are going to be more physical now after making the trade with Atlanta. They got a lot of size. Filipov's a big boy. Fox is a big boy. Lysiak's well over 6 foot. Ribble is a 6'3" or 6'4". He's not playing. I think he has a broken toe. Thompson felt that check-in along the boards. There's no doubt about that. He got crushed pretty good.
J.P. Bordeleau is not a really tremendously physical sort of a hockey player, but he lined up Thompson that time and took him in pretty good.
Well, that's a case when two players are racing for a loose puck. Things can happen in along the boards, and the player that goes in first is the player that's going to get hit.
Lysiak in against Dale McCourt. John Hamel takes it in behind his own goal. Dennis Polonich, he's shoved off the puck by Fox, goes back after it. Now Polonich heads out over on the right side to St. Laurent. Andre St. Laurent played it back, and the puck knocked away at the line. Here's Terry Harper with it. Now he starts St. Laurent, came back to Harper. Harper's pass broken up again. That by Michael Connell. With it is Bully. Ted Bully. He failed to hold it. Harper drove it back into the Chicago end. Greg Fox turning with it. Now Fox clearing it out on the left side for Bully. Bully's pass, center ice. John Hamel hands it off to Harper. Look out, he played it over on the right side, and Mulvey will take it in. He was turned around by Hamel. Fox has it. He's dumped to the ice by San Laurent, right in front of the Detroit bench, so the play had gone in offside. Tell you, the guy who, in the last few games, too, showed himself to be rather physical. He's not that big, but he wears number 2 for the Chicago Blackhawks, is Dave Logan.
Yeah, he's a good, tough kid. I was just looking at Nedomansky coming on the ice. The last shift on the ice for this line, McCourt, LeBratton, and Nedomansky. Nedomansky had a rough shift. He was hit 3 or 4 times, real solid.
Now the puck bouncing around in the Detroit zone. That's Coral, but pulling away from him was Willie Huber. Logan turns at his own line, bangs it out to center ice. Here's Huber bringing it right back in. Willie Huber and LeBrat, Danny LeBrat put it out to Dale McCourt. Finally ends up with it with a shot, and Esposito moved late, but it went wide. Now Logan. A minute and a half to go in the period. Huber again intercepted. Nedomansky, though, couldn't pick it up, and John Marks does it. Marks clearing it ahead to Mikita. Mikita over the line. Dangerous rush. Here's John Marks. And it bounced into the corner. He dumped it right out in front. And Coral lost his stick, and the wings clear it out to Nedomansky. Into the Chicago zone. Ned hands it off now to McCourt, to LeBratton with a shot, and Esposito stopped him. Now Logan sending it into the corner, being bothered by McCourt. It came back to Huber. He took the shot, deflected it behind the net. A minute to go in the first period. No score in the game. Now Logan clearing it ahead to Stan Mikita. Mikita center ice to Murray. Murray over the line into the Detroit zone with a shot wide. Picking it up is Marks. Marks being checked by Nedomansky, still played it in behind the Detroit goal. Tony Burton was stopped there by Kerr. He knocked it away from Kerr. It's dug loose, though. Here's J.P. Bordelot. Bordelot out in front. That was Danny LeBrat that knocked that away. Nedomansky's pass bounced off McCourt to center ice. 25 seconds in the period. Filipov got it into the Detroit end. It went in offside. We'll be back in just a moment.
Ah, the endless possibilities of Paeshki meats and your imagination. Imagine a great new way to enjoy Paeshki lunch meats or bologna. Put a slice or two on 2 triangles of refrigerated crescent roll dough. Add a slice of American cheese, wrap it all up, and bake till brown. Your imagination makes it possible. Paeshki makes it perfect.
Paeshki makes it perfect, 'cause Paeshki really cares.
You can win a $50 gift certificate in the Acme Red Wing prize drawing. Watch for today's winner between the first and second periods. Acme, where they have more, and they have it for less. Keith Magnuson, who's on the injured list with Chicago, is going to be joining Sid Abel live here in the first period or in the first intermission. Billy Hogabaum is pulled around. Bordelot is going to go off. And the Red Wings will have their third power play opportunity with 14 seconds remaining here in the first period. Well, J.P. Bordelot just got tied up with Hogabaum and couldn't get loose, and off he goes.
Well, Hogabaum tries to come out over the blue line, and Bordelot got his stick up under his arm and give him a little twist. And I think Hogabaum went with the twist too, because it wasn't anything really dangerous. But Bordelot wound up getting a penalty for it.
Off for holding at 19 minutes and 46 seconds. Now time running out here in the period. Perry Miller at center ice over the line, and it's dumped back out center ice. Just a couple of seconds remaining, so there'll be no damage done as the buzzer goes. No, it didn't go because the play went in offside with 1 second on the board. As I just said 20 seconds ago, Keith Magnuson will be joining Sid Abel here in the first intermission. And we think you'll be interested in him. He's had a varied career through college and here with the Chicago Blackhawks. Buzzer goes to end the first period. And a hotly contested first period of play with a score. The Detroit Red Wings nothing and the Chicago Blackhawks nothing. We'll be back in a moment.
Little Caesar's Pizza, nobody loves it like a kid from 2 weeks. Nobody loves it like Little Caesar's Pizza. Nobody loves it like my favorite treat.
your local TV book for a free pizza coupon.
New York, where you would save hundreds of dollars if you could buy diamonds direct from the cutters. Well, now you can. Buy direct from the New York Diamond Cutting Company, the Diamond Cutters, and save up to 60% on your diamond.
Now, a 1.20 carat pear-shaped diamond is just $725. Save at the New York Diamond Cutting Company. Call today.
Our Southfield sales office now for your appointment. 1 hour of your time could save you hundreds of dollars.
Parts Plus, the sign of quality parts, competitively priced, plus the kind of service you can count on. Why do you buy from Parts Plus?
Well, there when I want them with the parts I need.
Quality. With Parts Plus, I know I'm getting the best.
We've got a wide selection of hard-to-find parts.
We get the answers that help us do it right. Look for auto stores displaying this sign. Parts Plus, for automotive name brands you trust.
Abdul, quickly! Fish. Here, water, please. I'd rather than it. Burners?
No matter what else you got, don't get caught with your burners down.
When thirst threatens to get the best of you, nothing can replace Burners' mysteriously refreshing taste.
Don't get caught with your burners down, old boy.
Well, I know there are a lot of fans with torn allegiances today with Michigan State Spartans in their all-important game in the NCAA, and they were leading last week checked over Notre Dame 56-47. Game being played in Indianapolis. Here in Chicago, there's no score at the end of the first period as Detroit outshot the Blackhawks 10-8, and both goaltenders came through with some pretty good moves. Well, Keith Magnuson, well known around the National Hockey League, one of the early players to come out of the college ranks into professional hockey, is right now joining our sidekick, Sid Abel.
Keith, I know players don't like to sit up in press boxes and watch their team play, but you are injured. What type of an injury are you suffering?
Well, it happened about 2.5 months ago, Sid. I injured my right knee against St. Louis. I was in front of the net and was trying to check Harvey Bennett, who's one of the bigger players in the league. Pulled him back over my leg, and instead of him falling over it, he fell right on it. And that's when I injured it, and I had surgery that night.
Oh, I didn't realize you had surgery on your knee.
I did. I had, of course, this is the second surgery this year. I had it last season, after last season, and it was coming along pretty good. I was wearing a brace, and the doctor said to me that if I wore the brace, it wouldn't happen again. But, of course, he probably doesn't know how big the players are in the NHL or how hard they fall, and it tore the ligaments again.
And he doesn't know how Keith Magnuson loves to play hockey, because you're one fella in this league that's got guts and gumption and wants to play, and you're a credit to hockey, really.
Well, I appreciate that. I just feel fortunate that I've been lucky enough to play the game for 10 years, and I see this first period here tonight, and it's the kind of hockey that I like to see because it's a hard-hitting game. And there's been some good plays, too. It's been both teams I think have had equal chances, and it's been a good first period.
Keith, I was going to mention the fact, the biggest news in hockey the past few weeks is the fact that your general manager and coach, Bob Pulford, elected to trade 3 of the standbys and 3 favorites, no doubt, here in Chicago to Atlanta for 5 hockey players. Lysiak, the big name, but then besides Lysiak, you got a lot of size. Will this make the Blackhawks more physical, or is that a point that they were looking for?
Well, first of all, I hate to see 3 friends go and teammates I've played with 6 or 7 years, but that's the hazard of the sport, and we as professionals realize that any time during our career we could be traded. I think what our team is trying to do, and we probably won't realize the effects of the trade right away, but we have some young players. Most of them, I think all of them are under 26 years of age. We have good physical size. They're all around 200 pounds or better. And I feel that they're talented, too. I think that in the future that they will grow as hockey players and as they get more experience. And also I know with the coaching of Bob Pulford that they'll improve tremendously. It was really a trade where we gave up experienced players, but we got some talent and some youth.
There's no doubt about that. Keith, this was the hockey hotbed back a few years ago, and you've been here through that period, and now you're seeing a period where the crowds aren't that large. Would a trade like this get the fans coming back, do you think?
Well, I think that in order to have the fans back, you have to win hockey games, and you have to have an exciting team. And I feel that this has added a new dimension to our team. We are physical now, and we can rate among the best in size. I think that it'll help our attendance. I noticed that today in the last game against Philadelphia, we had 15,000, and here today we have at least 12,000. Winter has hurt us a lot this year, but I know in the last 2 or 3 years that we didn't win as much as we should have, and that hurt us. And hopefully this new move will help our attendance. And I know it was exciting during those years. Of course, we had Bobby Hull, probably one of the best scorers in the history of the NHL, and that was another reason too.
All right, Keith, the fact that you're in a division where teams do not have a lot of points, but you're sitting up there with a comfortable 12-point lead on Vancouver. You're in first place. I would think that would be enough to keep the fans' interest high, because you are a first-place club and will get a bye in the first round.
Well, maybe the fans have been spoiled. I know that the late 60s, say from 66 to almost 74, 75, we ended in first place, and we had some great scorers here, and we played some very good hockey. You know, names like Pat Stapleton and Bill White, of course, Stan's still with us, Bobby Hull, and you got to say Tony Esposito, too. A few of those people have left, and that's hurt us, I think. I believe that it's hurt the attendance, that people were used to seeing exciting playoff hockey every night. And maybe they're not seeing that every night. Maybe they're seeing it maybe every 3 or 4 games. Hopefully with this youth, and I think the whole league has improved this year. I really believe that the intensity that the players are playing with now is a lot better than has it been for the last 2 or 3 years, just because there's fewer jobs for a lot of players, and the players realize this.
Keith, you're one of the first players that turned pro and started playing in the National League. Probably not the first, but one of the first that come out of an American college, although you were Canadian-born, but you come out of Denver, I believe it was. Just what thoughts do you have of college hockey today? I mean, do you get a chance to see college hockey? And I know we have several college players that are pretty well established now in the National League. My question was going to be this. Do you feel that the American boy coming out of an American college is going to be able to play in this National League and hold his own?
I think he is. I believe right now that there has been many players, American players, that are ready to play in the NHL, that are in either maybe junior hockey up in Canada or playing high school hockey or college hockey here down in the United States. One of the best things that I did was go to college. And if I can say to a youngster out there today, get your education before you go into the NHL, because it's really a stepping stone to something else. And I know my hockey career someday is going to end, and I have a job here in Chicago. That's the most important thing. I think the American youngster in the future is going to make a tremendous impact on the NHL.
I'm glad to hear you say that. Keith, thanks ever so much for stopping by. Injury and all, get better, help this club in the playoffs.
Thank you very much, Sid.
Bye. Now let's go back to Bruce Martin.
From Panasonic, a 6-band radio including FM, AM, and public service band. The portable unit also lets you monitor audio of your favorite television program with rich, full sound from a 4-inch speaker. Information radio from Panasonic. Here at the Chicago Stadium, we have played one period of hockey with a score. The Detroit Red Wings nothing and the Chicago Blackhawks nothing, and we'll be back in just a moment.
United presents more non-stops to California than any other airline. Take him away, Maestro. We built the largest airline in the free world.
Around you, my friend, by the friendly skies.
Energy. There's a lot about it in the news lately. And everything we see and read about it is a reminder to use good judgment in using energy so there'll be more for all. The people who make Amoco heating oil want to keep your family warm and cozy. By dialing down the heat a few degrees, your house can still be comfortable, and you'll be stretching America's energy a bit further. And that's a pretty comforting thought.
Ah, the endless possibilities of Paschke meats and your imagination. Imagine putting crisp slices of that sweet, lean Paschke bacon on a toasted English muffin. Add a poached egg, a slice of American cheese, broil, and you've got Paschke Bacon Benedict. Your imagination makes it possible. Paschke makes it perfect.
Paschke makes it perfect, 'cause Paschke really cares.
This is the snowmobile that stopped the snowmobile industry dead in its tracks last year. It's the Kawasaki 440 Invader, the hottest thing on snow. The Kawasaki 440 Invader is so fast, you might want to consider a few options.
Kawasaki lets the good times roll.
Well, Dean Keating out of Royal Oak, Michigan, recently walked into an Acme sporting goods store, filled out a card, mailed it in, and it was chosen prior to today's hockey game. So, Dean Keating, if you will call 895-67,000, we'll tell you how to go about claiming the certificate that is on its way to you. Sid, we had a heck of a fine period, I thought. The first 20 minutes of this hockey game, some good goaltending on both ends of the rink, as a 0-0 score would indicate, and each team with good scoring chances.
I thought the goaltending stole the show, really, Bruce, in the first period. Esposito, early in the period, made several fine saves. Jimmy Rutherford come up with key saves down in the Detroit zone. It's more physical than most Chicago-Detroit games, and no doubt that's because of the trade that Chicago made with Atlanta and got a little size. But the Wings, I'm proud of the way they're playing. They played a very cautious period, or controlled game, where they pass the puck back, they get up to center ice, and if they find that there's not an opening to get into the zone, instead of throwing it into the zone and having someone beat them to the puck and then come out with it, they pass it back to their defensemen. They'll try it a different way. And by doing that, and they've been doing it the last few games, they are really bringing the pace back to the pace that they want, and then they can get the puck over, say, to the wingman, to LeBratton and to Bolduc and to Billy Hogebaum and somebody, Paul Wood, some of these guys that can really motor, and they get around the outside and they're getting chances to score goals.
Sid, I was just thinking that over the last 16 games, the Red Wings have won half of them, lost the other half. In other words, they're playing .500 hockey over the last 16 games. And on the road, where they went 23 games without winning one, they have now, in their last 7 games, won 4 and lost 2 and tied still another one. The turnaround, I think, has been a more disciplined sort of play, has it not?
There's no doubt about that, and they are proving that they're playing better in front of Jimmy Rutherford than they did in front of Vachon, but I think they've just come of age, a lot of them, and they're playing real well, too.
Well, we still have 40 minutes of hockey still to be played here at the Chicago Stadium. No score in the game thus far, and we'll be back with the face-off for the second period in just a moment.
Rough terrain ahead. Last year, we never could have made it. We had a conventional 2-wheel drive wagon. Now we've got a 4-wheel drive Jeep Cherokee, and anything's possible.
The road's pretty squishy up ahead.
This would have bogged down our 2-wheel drive wagon. But my Cherokee's equipped with Jeep's Quadra-Track, proving the automatic 4-wheel drive with the best traction.
Hey, Dad, can we make it up there?
Billy, our Cherokee can go anywhere.
Yeah.
Maybe your next wagon should be a Jeep Cherokee.
We wrote the book on 4-wheel drive.
The new Trans Van by Champion is shorter than this car, has more room than this van, and costs less than this station wagon. Yet this Trans Van sleeps up to 4 and even includes a kitchen.
Lunch is ready.
Oh, terrific.
John, presenting the traffic jam burger.
The amazing new Trans Van by Champion. Maybe your next car shouldn't be a car.
See the new Trans Van at Lloyd Bridge Chevrolet and Tom Harris Chevrolet.
Saturday night, go downtown, see the sights, girls and pinball, broken bright lights. Wish every day was Saturday night. Coca-Cola has light when the lights are bright. Wish every day was Saturday night. Coke has light, Coca-Cola has light.
What do you get with your interest from most banks when you deposit money?
Next.
What do you get with your interest when you deposit money in Bank of the Commonwealth?
I got a piano.
I got a piano.
I got these tools. I got a watch.
At Bank of the Commonwealth, when you deposit as little as $1,000 in a 7-year, 7% time certificate, you'll not only earn big interest, but also a big bonus, some bigger than others.
Trying hardest to help. That's the Bank of the Commonwealth.
Well, it's nice nice to see Michigan State out in front of Notre Dame if you're a Michigan State fan, and I know there are a lot of Irish and Notre Dame fans, but the Spartans leading 68-57 in the NCAA playoffs in Indianapolis today. Here at Chicago Stadium, the Detroit Red Wings and the Chicago Blackhawks playing a scoreless first period. And when the second period gets underway, Detroit will have the extra man for the first minute and 46 seconds. That's the time remaining in J.P. Bordelot's penalty. He was waved off for holding at 19 minutes and 46 seconds. Jimmy Rutherford, who will be in the... We're continuing to play in the Detroit goal. Jimmy playing his 8th straight game in the nets. And Tony Esposito, who, of course, does the major share of goaltending for Chicago. Esposito in his 53rd game of the season. Jimmy Rutherford, as we say, in his last 8 games, has won 4, lost 2, and tied 2. So referee Bruce Hood, who called 4 penalties in the first period, they were 3 to Chicago, 1 to Detroit. And the Wings have the power play right now. Larson and Huber back at the points. McCourt, Thompson, and Nedemansky up front. Puck knocked away, handed off to Coral. Here's Coral. He left it right out in front. McCourt handed it off now to Willie Huber. Huber will bring it out. He played it behind Errol Thompson, and they whistled it down as the pass covered 2 lines. Minute and 27 seconds remaining in the penalty time to J.P. Bordelot. Robert Preston takes it on the lam to Sonny Grease after trying to swindle conman Walter Matthau in Island of Love. That's tonight's 8 o'clock movie on TV 50. Face off just inside the Detroit blue line. Willie Huber handing it off to Reed Larson down the left side. Larson over the line, trying to go around Murray. He played it behind Dale McCord. It bounced away from him, and here's Coral coming back. Coral with a shot. That was knocked down by Thompson. Marks goes in after it. Checked in behind the goal by Huber, and Larson comes up with the puck. About a minute left in the penalty. McCourt starts Errol Thompson over the line. He was checked right there, and then really checked by Logan. There's a shot by Dale McCourt. Bruce Hood, the referee, went down heavily, and he's shaken up.
He was hit with the puck, Bruce. A shot they were trying to clear out of the zone, and it was really rifled, and it hit him up in the rib cage, I would think. He probably had the wind knocked out, and no doubt he's hurt. He's down just...
Chicago trainer out to administer to the referee, Bruce Hood. I'll tell you, Thompson took a lick, too.
It's hard to say how high the puck around. Now watch Thompson. He runs into a check as he tries to cut inside, and he gets knocked right back. Now watch this slap shot right here. Comes up off the boards. You can't see just how high it hit Hood, but it kept the puck in the zone.
I think it was under the arm.
Yeah, McCourt picked up the puck and had a shot on net, but they blew the whistle because of Hood being down on the ice. Referees and linesmen, Bruce, are susceptible for injury of the nose, and there's been some real bad injuries this year.
Yes, while we take a look at Bruce Hood, who is still being administered to, we shall tell you there's no score in the hockey game. We've played less than a minute of the second period, and we'll be back in just a moment.
I ain't going up that hill.
No way.
Off-road is fun, but sometimes you run into an obstacle that only a true four-wheel drive vehicle can handle.
A Jeep CJ will give it a try.
The Jeep CJ, built rugged, tough, and tailor-made for terrain like this. It's easy to see the Jeep CJ was born and bred for four-wheeling. And there's even options like automatic transmission and a hardtop. Top that.
That was fun.
The Jeep CJ. We wrote the book on four-wheel drive.
Bruce Hood is up and ready to go, but I don't think he feels too good, as you can tell right there. He lifted that left arm, and that's where it caught him, just in the ribs under the left arm, and
he's rubbing the spot right now, and he's taking a deep breath every once in a while.
That brings the old question back, as if a referee is hurt and can't continue, what happens? And normally, one of the linesmen would take over, and they'd work with a two-man crew. But in a recent game in New York, the supervisor of officials, Frank Woodbury, was there and picked it up. Now here is Paul Woods moving into the Chicago zone, and again it's whistled down offside. And the Wings have not really threatened all that much. 39 seconds still to go on the penalty to Bordelot, the carryover penalty from the first period. Bobby Fulford, he has received some criticism on the trade that sent three very popular players out of Chicago: Phil Russell, Bolderev, and Darcy Rhoda. Dale McCourt. Now McCourt just dumps it into the corner. Coral goes digging in after it. Hogabaum went for a spill. Puck came to John Marks. Now here come the Hawks. They've got three men coming down the ice. Over the line, Dave Logan drops it off for Murray. Now Marks. And Marks just didn't get control, and the Wings blew a great opportunity. They had three men trapped in and just couldn't work it away. Willie Huber had to go in to tie up Marks. What a chance the Wings would have had coming back.
They'd have had a 3-on-1 coming right back down. Although the Wings were lucky, the pass to Marks cutting across in front of the net wasn't a true pass. It hit his skates. Went across and hit Marks' skates, and he couldn't get the stick on it. Jimmy Rutherford just swished it off the side. But here was the chance the Wings had, and then as Tommy Bergman went to bring it out, he hit a skate.
So the face-off stays in the circle to the left of the Detroit goal with 7 seconds left in the Chicago penalty. San Laurent with Thompson and Polonich now for the Wings. Hamel, Terry Harper. Alan Daigle goes in against San Laurent. Daigle won the draw. Played off center ice, brought back in offside by Greg Fox. So we'll have the face-off out over the Detroit blue line with now 3 seconds left in the penalty as Bobby Crum explains to Hogabaum and Woods, McCourt, what he'd like to happen. I know what he'd like to have happen.
He scores some goals. He's been very happy with the play of the club in the last 2 or 3 weeks. He mentioned last night, he said they are playing disciplined hockey now.
Now here's Terry Harper, penalty over. Chicago back at full strength. John Hamel, he has San Laurent over the line with a shot. Esposito knocks it down. And with Polonich digging in, he grabs the rebound.
Excellent play by Andre St. Laurent. Took a little pass up through the middle from Hamel. Had a good shot. John Hamel threw it right up through the middle now to cut St. Laurent, busting through. He cut around the outside, got a shot away real good.
There's experience for you with Tony Esposito covering up on the rebound, or Polonich would have been right there. Now that's his Fox in behind his own net. Greg Fox sent it off center ice. Harper just played it right back to him. And it's cleared to center ice again, and it'll be taken now by Polonich. He shoots it high off the glass, took a crazy bounce out in front, but Fox is there to clear it. Now Fox, again being bothered by Polonich, dropped it off for Mulvey. Grant Mulvey sends it back to O'Connell. Mike O'Connell to center ice. Now to Mulvey into the Detroit zone. Mulvey works away from Polonich, but he's checked by Harper. That puck jammed in along the boards, came loose. And they take it in behind the net. It's still loose. Lysiak, he lost it to Polonich. Now it's Polonich coming out with a pass to Errol Thompson. He shoots and he shot it high and wide. Lysiak took a whack at it. Harper held it in. Harper dumps it into the corner. Lysiak had problems there. Polonich kicked it. It came loose now to San Laurent with a backhand shot. And Esposito moved sharply on a fine play by Andre San Laurent.
There's experience for you. Esposito was playing the angle as St. Laurent brought the puck out. There's a little kick of the puck by Polonich. Comes across to St. Laurent. He's on a bad angle, but Esposito, he could have had the far corner.
So the Spartans of Michigan State University have won their basketball game 80-68 and move on in the NCAA playoffs, and certainly our congratulations and best wishes go along to them. As for the hockey action right now, we have no score. We have played just 3 minutes of the second period. Puck is dumped into the Detroit zone. Back after it, Nedemansky in behind his own net. Checked right there by Red Kerr. He dug it away again. Now it's Nedemansky moving away from Kerr's check, coming out center ice. Over the line with Carroll. Nedemansky whistled a shot, and Esposito knocked that away. Right back down the ice. This is Harold Filippov trying to work away from Huber, and Filippov fell down. Goes into the corner on top of the puck. The play will stay to the right of the Detroit goal. 3.5 minutes have gone by in the second period. The Wings had 10 shots, Chicago 8 in the first period. Blackhawks picked up 3 minor penalties, and the Red Wings won. Filipov giving some argument to referee Bruce Hood over the fact that Huber may indeed have been responsible for pulling him down.
Nedemansky made a great play coming straight down the middle. He elects to shoot when he gets over the line, and Esposito moved real quick to stop that.
Puck bouncing around. Here's Nedemansky taking it away. Nedemansky on the left side. Danny LeBratton picks it up, put it out in front, and he hits the shot, and again Esposito has stopped it. As that puck bounced right at the goal line.
We were talking about the speed of the wingman. Nedemansky made the perfect pass, catches LeBratton in full stride. LeBratton takes it on his backhand, cuts back across now, makes a terrific play, gets it up high, and that's where it has to be. Esposito didn't cover it completely and stopped it before it rolled over the line.
It did take a bounce right back up to him, or it could have been.
Esposito's on his hands and knees on so many plays when they get in close to the net that you've got to go upstairs to beat them.
McCourt, Nedemansky, and LeBratton for the Wings now. Mikita won the draw. Coming out with it, Bob Murray. Here's Murray of Chicago from center ice, firing it wide. Markson in after the rebound, right out in front. That's a save by Rutherford, another save. As he stopped 2 of them, and that's the way Rutherford's been playing, too. And the goaltenders have been just great. Stan Mikita was stopped on the rebound. Now this is Dale McCord in behind his own goal. Over on the left side, too far for LeBratton. Back on the blue line, Murray handing it off to Mikita. Mikita sets up Murray. The shot blocked in front. Another one, and Rutherford stopped that. He stopped Murray twice. Here's Mikita. Mikita trying to center it. Pulled it away from McCourt. Still controls it. Hands it back now. It's now Marks with it out in front to Mikita. Nedemansky stopped him. LeBratton cleared it beyond Dale McCourt. Puck sent back into the Detroit end, and it's Willie Huber with it there. Now McCourt, 3 in the Wings, 3-on-2 over the line, and the shot by Woods, and Esposito juggles that, but holds on. No score in the game, but it's a good one, and we'll be back in just a moment. We've seen some outstanding goaltending in the first 25 minutes of this hockey game on both ends of the Chicago Stadium ice. There's a quick shot by Woods, but he didn't get much on it. It went wide. Billy Hogebaum and O'Connell checking each other. That's Ted Bully going into the corner, driving it over on the right side for Grant Mulvey. Mulvey's pass out at center ice. Woods stopped it there, but Mulvey intercepts. Comes back in, but way offside was Lysiak. And the play comes back out over the Detroit blue line. These same 2 teams will be at Olympia Stadium in Detroit Tuesday night. With game time, 7:30. Tom Lysiak, who had a great career with Atlanta, fell into disfavor with coach and management there in the last part of this season, and consequently was a key figure in the trade. Now here's Perry Miller moving in with Paul Woods. Woods charging in front. That puck loose, but driven to the corner by Mikita. Esposito came out to cut angles. Bolduc failed to hold it, and at center ice, it's Reed Larson. Now Hogebaum starts Woods over the line again, playing without a stick. O'Connell takes him in along the boards. Fox took a poke at it. Greg Fox. They jam it into the corner. Here's Miller trying to keep it in. It bounced away. Lysiak without a stick. Miller's pass, though, broken up, and O'Connell starts back. Now he hands it off to Mulvey. Mulvey plays it deep into the Detroit end. Larson has it there. Larson's pass coming out to Hogebaum. Now moving with it. This is Danny Bolduc going in with a shot. Esposito stops that. Again, doubled it, but held on. Reed Larson will hold it in. He didn't do it. Lysiak moved in, took it away. Puck loose at center ice. Grant Mulvey with it. Mulvey ahead to O'Connell. Mike O'Connell lost it to Perry Miller. Now Woods drives it back into the Chicago zone. And the Wings go for the player change. Coming Out now O'Connell. Over on the right side to Mulvey. He was hit by Hamel. They bounce each other along the boards in the center ice zone, and Errol Thompson digs it away. Polonich over the line. Back to Thompson. Thompson drove that shot, and Esposito has grabbed that, and he holds on. And the face-off stays to the left of the Chicago net.
Just sensational goaltending on both ends of the rink. Esposito has had the most shots to handle and probably the most difficult, but he has come up with all of them, as Jimmy Rutherford has done the same back in the Detroit net.
Face-off will stay in the circle off to the left of Esposito. Polonich and Thompson on either side of Saint Laurent, with Harper and Hamel back along the defense. Reg Kerr is at center ice. He's got J.P. Bordelot on one wing, Filippov on the other. Harold Filippov went into the corner, left it there. Polonich played it back toward the line for Harper. He took the shot, sailed it way over the top of the goal. Bordelot sends it out to center ice. Now Reg Kerr. Kerr trying to work around Harper, done it way wide. John Hamel. He was checked, but it'll be taken by Polonich. Dennis Polonich clearing it off Saint Laurent. Now this is Murray clearing it back into the Detroit end. Saint Laurent and Filippov going after it. Filippov came up with a puck, but knocking it away was Hamel. John Hamel and Thompson combined to shoot it back to the Chicago blue line. 7 minutes has been played in this, the second period. No score. Polonich. Dennis Polonich driving it in behind the Chicago goal. Going to the corner, Saint Laurent. He and Logan come heavily to the boards. Logan hauls Saint Laurent to the ice. And in behind his own net, Filippov. Another former Atlanta player shooting it out center ice. John Hamel headed for the moment. Errol Thompson cleared it. It went off Carroll. Over on the left side, Kerr. Kerr gulps it in behind Jimmy Rutherford. He stops it there for Hamel. John Hamel put the brakes on quickly. Comes back after it. Now played it into the corner for Greg Carroll. Carroll's pass didn't come out. Hamel goes in again. Checking rather ferociously is Kerr. He got it loose to Bordelot. Right out in front, and Thompson was there to clear it away. Now three of the wings back. Thompson from the blue line with a shot. Esposito drives that to the side. Puck came back to the line. Willie Huber with a shot. Oh, and it was J.P. LeBlanc that deflected it just off the corner. Miller holds it in. Carroll's pass didn't get through. Miller holds it. J.P. LeBlanc took a swipe at it. Now the Blackhawks will bring it out. At center ice, Kelly. Bob Kelly into the Detroit zone. Took the shot wide of the goal. Then Huber goes in after it. Wide open hockey, no score. Tommy Bergman. Now Bergman coming out center ice. Tommy flips the shot off to the side of the net. LeBlanc goes into the corner along with Greg Fox. They tie each other up, and the Hawks come back. This is Mike Walton. Going over the line, Walton. Trying to cut by Tommy Bergman. Put it out in front, and Perry Miller stops it there. Now the wings with LeBlanc coming back. He played it off to Carroll, and the play is offside. A pause and a lot of action. We'll be back in just a moment.
Parts Plus, the sign of quality parts, competitively priced, plus the kind of service you can count on. Protect your car from rain, sun, snow, detergent, and road grime with Turtle Extra Liquid for the hardest wax job ever from Turtle Wax. Now just $3.79 for a 16-ounce bottle at your nearest participating Parts Plus auto store. Look for auto stores displaying this sign, Parts Plus, for automotive name brands you trust.
Southfield Men Over 30 Hockey Association. Ray Myers, the vice president. Over 40 of them here from the group. Nice to have them join the Wings in Chicago.
There are a lot of Detroit fans here watching this hockey game. They've not been disappointed. There's been no scoring, but both teams have had fine chances. Now here's Bob Murray handing it over on the left side to Dave Logan. Mikita up ahead. Pass went off Mikita's skate, and it was offside. Talk about the fans out of Detroit into St. Louis yesterday. We had nice talk with Pete Tassas, along with Bill and Kathleen Prasinos, who were there and are here in Chicago with their daughter, Vicki. Marie said hello to Stephanie. They were in the Chicago area yesterday, or rather St. Louis, and made the trip over to Chicago. So, the St. Louis to Chicago trip, and two good hockey games. The Wings winning yesterday and a 0-0 tie here thus far this afternoon. Jimmy Rutherford checked from behind. That's with Coro. Coro comes in along the boards by Hamel. There's going to be a penalty coming up to Hamel. He's going to go off, I believe it's Hamel. Over along the boards, Danny LeBreton. There's a stick up high along with a Chicago player who I think is Kelly, but I can't tell you for sure. No, it's John Marks. But I believe Red Wing player Hamel was picking up the penalty. And that means Chicago now will have the extra man. So while John Hamel heads in, we'll pause for this message.
When you own a Trans van, you have to get used to all the room inside, like the carpeted dining area with thick cushioned seats and removable table. The sleeping area has large, comfortable sofa beds covered with stylish fabrics, ample closet space, too, and the stand-up kitchen has an icebox, stainless steel sink, roomy drawers, and plenty of cupboards. The versatile Trans van from Champion. Say maybe your next car shouldn't be a car.
See the new Trans van at Ken Brown Dodge and Tamaroff Buick Opel.
We're with the live action right now as Tom Lysiak took a bump along the boards from Perry Miller. Wings didn't get it out. This is Mike Walton. In the corner to Makita. He was checked right there by Hogabaum. It came back to Walton. Walton hands it off to Murray. Murray hit the goal post. Drove it off the goal post. Rutherford still way out of the net. Murray another shot. That's blocked by Paul Woods. Here come the Wings 2-on-1. Perry Miller and Woods, the two of them over the line. The shot by Miller and the rebound lay right out in front. The Wings couldn't get to it. Pass too far away from Walton. And Miller, who had a great chance a moment ago, brings it out to center ice. He's got Larson with him, the two-wing defenseman up the ice. Here's Miller. He's hauled down. There'll be a penalty to Lysiak. Well, there's something you don't often see as a penalty-killing unit. The two Detroit defensemen were way up the ice.
You know, we've talked about the way Perry Miller, midway through the season, Perry was struggling a little bit. He is a very colorful member of this hockey club. And the way he's carrying the puck lately, he was trapped in deep, come back, and still beat Chicago to the puck. Watch the play he makes here. He just wheels real sharp, goes around the outside of Lysiak, cuts around another player. Now Lysiak comes back just after he gets over the Chicago blue line and pulls him down right here, and Lysiak gets the penalty, and I think Perry put on a little bit of an act, too. He was probably getting a little tired from all his rushes. The fact that he and Larson were the first two up on the one breakaway, it's quite surprised to see that because the Wings are playing so disciplined.
Well, Miller moves over onto the Detroit bench. Lysiak goes off for hooking. 10 minutes, 19 seconds, the time of the penalty, so each team short a man. John Hamel with 1:07 to go in his penalty time. Detroit with San Laurent, Thompson, Huber, and Tommy Bergman. Now here's Mike O'Connell moving out. He can fire that puck. He drives it off to the side of the net. It took a crazy bounce. Kerr was given a bump by Willie Huber. And it's San Laurent ending up with the puck. San Laurent playing it back in his own net now to Tommy Bergman. Little more than 9 minutes to go in the second period. No score. The Wings are not moving, so Huber cleared it into the corner to San Laurent. Good move away from Bordelot. Andre San Laurent with Thompson over on the right side. San Laurent pulled up, tried to work it back to Tommy Bergman. And O'Connell takes over for Chicago. Here's Reggie Kerr coming out. Oh, and Errol Thompson, a nifty move to take it away from him. Now Huber's pass knocked away right at the line. When he did get it in, San Laurent was offside. 17 seconds remaining in the penalty to Hamel. Then Detroit will have the extra man for a little less than a minute.
And there's some hockey fans here from Livonia. Want to say hello to Bob and Gabby and Ron Keenum, Gary Adams, Mitch Johnson, Andy Kozawa, and Ron Amatusi.
Well, if your ordinary new car tires have less than 300 miles, you can trade in your 4 tires on a whole new set of 4 Michelin radials. Just $200 plus tax at your Super 6 tire centers. Each team remains short a man. Hamel, 17 seconds left in his penalty. Now that's John Marks. He was held up by Perry Miller. Reed Larson came back to take the loose puck, and there's going to be a penalty coming up to Marks. He's going to go off as he hooked Miller to the ice, and Marks is going to go, I think. No, they're waving off Dale McCourt.
Dale McCourt can't believe it.
Perry Miller. I can't either. Do you want to know the truth of the matter? We'll have to take another look at that one. And perhaps Bruce Hood saw something we didn't.
Now the Red Wings will be tested with 2 men in the penalty box to Chicago's 1. They have Paul Wood, Larson. No, they're going to bring out Willie Huber and
called it interference on
Toby
Miller.
Bergman.
He was hauled to the ice by Marks, and Marks turned around and was going to argue with the referee, and then suddenly realized that he wasn't the one getting the penalty. So Detroit will play 2 men short for the 9 seconds remaining in Hamel's penalty. Miller interference at 11:17. Nikita won the draw. Here's Bob Murray handing it off to Coral. Cliff Coral back on the line to Murray. Bob Murray moving in for a shot. That was dropped away in front. Hamel is back on. That shot fired. They score! John Marks.
And I believe that puck went in off the post. It will not be a shorthanded goal. Yes, it is a shorthanded goal. No, there are 2 men in the penalty box. John Hale was out.
Captain of the Wings has come out. He's really having a discussion with referee Bruce Hood at center ice.
Shot goes out to John Marks, and he fired from out just at the top of the circle, and it appeared to me as though it hit the short side, the post, and bounced in.
Woods and McCourt really having a discussion with the referee. I don't know what to think. I have no idea what it's all about. The penalty to Hamel was over, so he was back on. So it means that each team was playing short a man at the time, though Hamel had just stepped out of the penalty box. His penalty was over at 11:26, and the goal scored at 11:31. And a very questionable call against Perry Miller.
Yes, it's tough playing on the road with 2 men in the penalty box when the face-off is deep in your zone. Nikita won the face-off from Dale McCourt, got the play back out to the point.
So anyway, it's Chicago 1, Detroit nothing. Now Tommy Bergman hands it off to Danny Bolduc. Back to Bergman. Each team short a man, Willie Huber. He was turned around by Coral. Puck picked up, then stopped right there at the line. They hold it right at center ice. Assists on the goal, scored by Stan Marks. That's his 16th of the year. 11:31 the time. The Wings did not give up a power play goal, in as much as Hamel was just out of the penalty box, but definitely not back into the play. Now this is Paul Woods in behind his own goal. In 10 seconds now, Lysiak will be back, and again, Chicago's going to have the power play. This is Willie Huber, and Woods in behind his own net again. Now Woods over on the right side. Huber picked it up, tried to send it back to Woods. Marks intercepted. Lysiak is back on. Danny Bolduc failed to hold it. Here, though, picking it up, Willie Huber over the line, trying to go through, and he was written off the puck. Falling down was Marks. He gets up again. There's confusion in the Chicago zone. Now Lysiak turns out. 35 seconds left in Miller's penalty. Harper stopped it right at the line. This is Bob Murray turning with it. Murray at center ice, playing it in behind the Detroit goal. Rutherford stopped it there. Mike Walton, Harper, and Reed Larson gets into it. They kick away at it. Lysiak sends it back to Murray. Murray handing it back now. In the corner with it is Filipov, putting it right out in front. That quick shot, Rutherford made the save. J.P. LeBlanc lifts it ahead, and it comes out to center ice. Penalty is over. Miller coming back on. And the teams are at full strength. Puck slides off to the side of the Detroit net. Reed Larson going after it. Larson pulling away, chucked by Makita. Makita fell down, though, and Paul Woods goes in after it. Now Woods sends it off to Larson. 6:25 to go in the second period. 1-0 Chicago. Larson at center ice. Bounces it right to the goal. Esposito stops it there, and Murray will take it in behind his own net. Bob Murray coming out. Here's Murray at center ice, sending it off to the side of the Detroit net again. Rutherford played it off to Nedemansky. He didn't get it out. Makita back on the line. The shot by Logan, and Rutherford reaches down and grabs that. And he made a good move on that one. He was screened out in front.
Jimmy Rutherford is following the puck probably as well as he ever has in the Detroit nets. This play goes back out to the point from Makita, and a real good shot. Comes through a maze of players, but Rutherford followed it all the way, caught it.
Detroit now with LeBratton on the left side, Nedemansky on the right wing, and Dale McCord at center ice. Harper and Reed Larson back along the defense. Stan Makita, Coral, and Marks are up front. For the Blackhawks, O'Connell. Greg Fox. That's Fox with a shot. Rutherford reached down and grabbed that. Held it long enough for a face-off, which again will be to the right of the Red Wing goal. And Detroit right now just not winning the face-offs. Stan Makita, who's been one of the best throughout a great National Hockey League career, remains pretty good.
He probably is the best, Bruce. He has all that experience going for him. He was beaten that time, though.
Dale McCourt won at that time. Puck bounced back to the Chicago blue line. Played ahead on the right side. Cliff Coral lifted it off Makita. Makita dug it away, sends it back to Coral. Now Coral dumping it off to the side of the Detroit net. Rutherford stops it, played it away to LeBratton. Danny LeBratton handing it off to Perry Miller. His shot knocked away. Dale McCord dropped it back for Reed Larson. He knocked off the puck by Coral and picked it up and beats Nedemansky. Net ahead right through the skates of Dale McCord. Fox digging in behind his own goal. LeBratton should get there first, but he was checked by the Chicago player. And the Hawks and the Red Wings hold it in along the boards. It came loose. Defenseman Greg Fox with it. Now Stan Makita at his own blue line, turning with it, handing it off to O'Connell. Mike O'Connell on the right side to Coral. Coral took the shot. Miller blocked that. LeBratton went in after it. They scramble along the boards. Digging it out now, Makita. Makita put it right out of front. Rutherford made the save. Is right in on top of him was Filipov. That puck is underneath players along the side. And now you can see them all moving into it.
I think Makita and LeBratton were having words. LeBratton tried to tie him up over in the corner.
So the face-off, when this all cools off, will be in the Detroit end. We have 4 minutes, 44 seconds to go in the second period. Danny LeBratton. Young guy out of Sweden, and Sid, you can't say he really doesn't go in for a little of the rough stuff.
No, he relishes the rough hockey. There's the save, a little pass from behind the net that Jimmy Rutherford covered. The Wings have let up a little bit here in the last 5 or 6 minutes. Chicago have been in Detroit zone and have had a chance to move their defensemen inside the blue line for all these faceoffs.
Here's Logan with a shot, and Rutherford reaches out and grabs that. Jimmy Rutherford way behind his own goal was checked there, but Larson covers up to Polonich on the right wing. Moving his way out to center ice. Thompson coming up the left side. Polonich over the line. He was checked right there. The puck taken away. Coming out with it, Dave Logan. Sweeping it out to center ice for Bordelot. Over the line with Kerr. Here's Kerr handing it off, and it went beyond Filipov. Going in after it now is Larson. Reed Larson in behind his own goal. Now Larson down the left side. Giving a bump by Bordelot. The puck loose. Picking it up, Perry Miller. Now on the right wing, Polonich over the line. He rolled it in along the boards. Miller goes in deep behind the net. He got a stick on it, then he's covered by Murray. This will be a chance for Willie Huber. He held it in. Willie Huber given a bump, the puck knocked away, and Filipov sweeps it to length of the ice. There'll be an icing call if Miller gets there first, and he does. So we have a pause in the action. 1-0 Chicago, and we shall be back in just a moment.
Now on the ice for the Detroit Standard Dealers Sports Club, giving their support to Greater Detroit and our own Detroit professional teams. They may not be pros on skates, but they sure are at offering you quality standard service for your car. What do you say, guys? Come on out and support the Standard Dealers and our teams.
Coming soon, Pesky, new great American super-size hot dog. The one that fills the bun at your supermarket. Both teams at full strength now. 3 minutes, 40 seconds to play. Second period. The Blackhawks lead 1-0. This is Mike O'Connell bringing it out to center ice. Off the Lysiak, he had to hold up as Bully was way in ahead of it. Now the puck dumped deep into the Detroit end as Paul Woods circles in behind the goal. He's hauled down, and Bully will go off. On the delayed call, Woods got right up, played it in behind his own net for... could be another penalty as Rutherford was knocked down. But on the delayed call, the Red Wings still have the extra man, and now Lysiak gains control, and Bully's going to draw the only penalty. But the Red Wings are going to have a power play chance.
Chicago played this pretty well. They knew they were getting a delayed penalty, and they moved everyone inside the zone to stop Detroit from getting down ice and getting a face-off way down in the other zone. That's where Paul Woods was pulled down. Now just watch the way Chicago players move in here and cause congestion. Bully could have received another penalty there for high stick and Jimmy Rutherford. But they have the wings bottled up, and until Chicago gets possession of the puck, there can't be a face-off. They are bringing the face-out off outside the blue line because of freezing it against the boards, I suppose.
So the face-off, Billy Hogebaum, Bolduc, and Paul Woods, the forward line for Detroit, with Larson and McCourt back at the point. Hawks clear it down the ice into the Detroit zone. A 1-0 game. Chicago leads with 3 minutes to play. Second period. Now Reed Larson hands it off to Hogebaum and back to Larson. Reed Larson at center ice carries over the Chicago line. He was checked right there by Logan. Dave Logan turns around, shoots it down the ice again. McCourt will come back after it. Being watched by John Marks, a minute 25 left in the penalty. Now McCourt ahead to Paul Woods. Woods over the line, fired the shot. That was knocked away by Murray. Woods dug it out, a chance for Larson. Larson with a shot, that's blocked. And here's Marks, he pulled away from Larson. John Marks cutting into the Detroit zone. Went right out in front, he stopped, and on the rebound, they score. Cliff Coral, a short-handed goal.
Here's a case of a mistake by the Wings when they were chasing Marks down along the boards. The shot was deflected. Comes back out along the point. Here's where the puck bounces away from Reed Larson. Now, you notice the two Detroit players are chasing Marks. They stop him from getting a chance to score, but they both leave the puck out in front of the net. And Jimmy Rutherford's flat on his back and can't stop Cliff Coral when he comes in and picks up the rebound. And Coral, an experienced hockey player, made no mistake.
Still a minute and 2 seconds remaining in the Chicago penalty. It was Reed Larson who was victimized on it. He fired the shot, Marks blocked it, and Larson was turned around the opposite direction and never really did get back into the play. So Detroit with the extra man still. Play came back to Saint Laurent. Hands it off to Willie Huber. Huber's pass broken up, and Kerr shoots it down the ice. Well, Detroit have not looked good on their power play chance thus far. Here's Nedomansky coming out. Down the left side, pulling up. He sends Saint Laurent going right, and he scores! What a play by Saint Laurent and Nedomansky, and now the Wings get the power play goal, and it's 2-1.
And you won't see a prettier goal than this. Perfect play, a dish out to Nedomansky out in the middle. He comes up and he crosses the line and stops, and then makes a perfect pass to Saint Laurent coming down through the middle. And Andre pulls Esposito and then slides it in the empty net. Beautiful effort by both Nedomansky and Saint Laurent.
Andre Saint Laurent getting his 15th goal of the season. Netamansky did play very, very sparingly on the first two Detroit power plays, but he made this one go. Netamansky draws the only assist on the goal at 18-17, the 15th of the season for Andre Saint Laurent. And so the game is now 2-1. The power play goal by the wings. Look out, right out in front. And Willie Huber came in and made the play as he bowled over the player Filippov. There's a shot, a loose puck in front. Saint Laurent. He took the shot, but the whistle didn't sound. I thought I heard one. And then Dennis Polonich was really decked by Filippov. Coming right back, Bordelot. J.P. Bordelot put it out in front. It goes to the corner. Kerr dumped it in behind. A minute to go in the second period. Willie Huber really decked Filippov out in front of the Detroit net, and that prevented what could have been the third Chicago goal. Now this is Mike O'Connell clearing it off the boards on the left side. Bully. He was checked by Harper. Harper holds Bully away from it. It goes the opposite corner. Came right off the Bully with a shot. That's knocked away. 30 seconds to go. Now there's a fight going on down in the corner between Bully and Terry Harper. Harper has him jammed in along the boards, holding him there as Bully tries to swing at the back of the helmet, which will do him no good. Referee stands back and watches it. The two linesmen likewise. Bully trying to get the right hand loose. Harper just holding on at the moment.
I don't think Terry's known as a fighter, but I realize that he is strong and has real good balance for duels like this on the ice. Bully is a pretty big youngster, as I believe I'm right in saying he's from Windsor, Ontario, across the river from Detroit. Has played pretty well for this hockey club.
Well, a little freak is all broken up. They'll be heading in, and we shall be back with 29 seconds left in the period after this message.
Nighttime snacks, or sit down at Little Caesars. Just order and relax. If you want variety, there's a family in for you. It's the winter, come in and see Little Caesars.
See your local TV book for a free pizza coupon.
John Travolta and Jane Fonda are the special guests on Inside the Golden Globes, the award show that could predict this net, and that's where referee Bruce Hood is now going to call it. Harper and Bully, 5 minutes apiece for fighting at 19:31. Well, Ted Bully's had his share of penalty time this year. He came in with 128 minutes, and he has picked up another 9 so far in this hockey game. Dave Logan leads the Chicago Blackhawks in the overall penalty time with 168 minutes.
My special guest, Bruce, between the second and third period is an announcer from the Detroit area that's covered hockey for nigh on to 15 years. Bruce Martin. I'm going to talk with Bruce about cities that we play in and possibly about expansion, the merger.
Have some fun with it. Now the play went into the Chicago zone offside on the delayed call. The Wings pick it up. Tommy Bergman fires it back in. We have 15 seconds to go in the period. 2-1 Chicago, knocked away by Hogabaum. Paul Woods holding it in. His pass didn't get through. And the Hawks clear. Here's Toro. Down the right side with a shot. Rutherford came way out to cut the angle and make the save. And the Wings, Tommy Bergman dumps it to center ice as the horn goes to end the second period. So from here at the Chicago Stadium, we have played 2 periods of hockey with a score. The Chicago Blackhawks 2 and the Detroit Red Wings 1, and we'll be back in just a moment.
If you're not sure where that business or store is located, you have 2 choices. You can drive around in circles, wasting a lot of time, and gas. Or you can let your fingers do the walking in the Yellow Pages first, where smart advertisers show you maps to help you find them, when they're open, brand names and services so you know they'll have just what you want. Buyers and advertisers, people like you get together faster the Yellow Pages way.
Ah, the endless possibilities of Peschke Meats and your imagination. Imagine a new way to enjoy that summertime standby, Peschke hot dogs. Prepare them your favorite way. Add bits of green pepper or whatever you like to your favorite kind of melted American processed cheese and pour. Your imagination makes it possible. Peschke makes it perfect.
Peschke makes it perfect, 'cause Peschke really cares.
I think we have a transmission problem here. You pilot, John!
At AMCO, we'll put you and your car back together again. We test drive your car, with you in it. We examine the pan, with you watching, so you know the job we recommend is the right one. At AMCO, we'll put you and your car back together again.
I got you a new set of keys.
Bruce, we're witnessing quite a hockey game here. 40 minutes by the board, 2-1 for Chicago. But the Wings have carried the play as much as Chicago.
Well, you'd have to say that. The shots on goal, Sid. Detroit outshot Chicago 10-8 in the first period, 13-12 in the second. That's 23-20. And I think you can't say the difference in the hockey game, but it could be a 5-4 game except for the goaltending, I think, on both sides.
You know, and I love seeing hockey where goaltending takes over. Both Jimmy Rutherford and Esposito have just been fantastic.
Well, I'll have a hard time believing this game is going to end 2-1. I think it's still anybody's hockey game, and it's going to be interesting to see how the Wings come out and play it, because we won't forget the first game that was played here back in October when Detroit had a 3-1 lead with about 3.5 minutes to go. Bordeleau got an unassisted goal when he and the puck and everything went in the net, you'll recall, and then they stormed around and scored the tying goal with just 1 minute to play. Well, maybe it's the Wings' turn to come back.
Bruce, I'm going to talk about things that I think I would like to hear your version. You know, you've been going up and down the road with the Wings now for nigh on 15 years. Yeah. Prior to expansion, through expansion, we go to 16 beautiful cities, stay at nice hotels. Do you have a favorite?
Oh, I think if you're just talking about the city itself, I do love Vancouver. But without hurting any other cities, it's fun. I don't think there's a city you don't go into, do you, that isn't interesting and fun? I like the city of Chicago right here. And New York is always different, though I didn't want to live there, I don't think.
Now, see, I would differ. I thought you were going to say Montreal, because Montreal has the French restaurants and well, they all have good eating places.
But Vancouver, so does Detroit.
Right.
But Vancouver has the mountains and the water and just everything there. And to me, it's such a scenic. I just love it. In San Francisco too, when we used to go there, I wish they'd get a franchise back in there.
Yes, San Francisco and possibly San Diego would be a nice spot too.
Oh yeah. But what I like about some of the cities, though, more than others, are our broadcast locations. Are set up here in Chicago, I think, is probably one of the best in the National Hockey League so far as the overall view is concerned, and the separation from spectators. And then we have some brutal ones where we are vying with the crowd around us at all times, and bad sight lines and what have you.
Bruce, when I talk to some of the older players in the league, I ask them if they find what difference they find between the old 6-team league and now the league that with 17 teams. Now, you have been covering hockey through both eras. Do you find a difference between the type of hockey played?
Oh, sure. I'm saying it's so much easier to broadcast when there were just 5 other teams you were looking at all season long, and I was lucky enough to be here the first 2 years that the 6-team league was involved in the National Hockey League, and you'd play a team, and we've said it so many times, but you'd be in Toronto Saturday night, and you'd know everybody and remember everything that just happened Saturday, and the same 2 teams would be going right back at it Sunday, and it was just fun kind of hockey. And then you'd go into every city 7 different times during the course of the National Hockey League season, 14 games against the other 5 teams, and I really enjoyed it. I loved it.
Well, I enjoyed it because right now we have Bobby Crom and Al Coates taking the 2 of us out real often. Years ago, yourself and Bud Lynch would more or less accompany me on little sorties after the game.
Oh, and they were some of the fun days, too, coming into a city prior to the game and having an evening together, and we'd sit down and talk hockey for 10 minutes and the heck with it the rest of the night, and let the situation cool off a little bit. But we did have some good times, the Three Musketeers, Abel and Lynch and Martin.
And we were superstitious.
Oh, I'll tell you that. We would eat at the same place if they won a game, or we'd never go back in if they lost the next night. Right?
Bruce, you know...
And you started to smell with some of the clothes you wouldn't take off, too.
Oh, don't say that now. Listen, let's just talk. There's a lot of talk throughout the league, and more so in Canada, on the fact that the World Hockey and the National Hockey League may merge. If they do, what do you think is going to happen hockey-wise with all the players?
I think it's going to be an entirely different kind of hockey. We're going to see every team in the National Hockey League, 4 times?
Right.
2 away and 2 home.
If it happens.
If it happens, sure. And that means like the Montreal Canadiens, who come into Olympia 4 times during the season now, being only twice, all of the teams will be. And when you play teams only 4 times during the course of a 7-8 month season, that isn't very much. I don't think I'm going to like it as well in that respect. But so far as players are concerned, I think hockey will be a little better, because you're going to weed out some of the fringe players maybe in the National Hockey League, and certainly quite a few of them in the World Hockey Association.
Well, you have a good point, but then again, we have new cities that we'll be going to, possibly Edmonton, Quebec City, Winnipeg, Hartford.
I'd enjoy that, no question about it. Do you think Gordie Howe will still be playing if New England enters the National Hockey League next year?
I'm just trying to think what month this is and his age. No, I would say Gordie Howe is going to retire.
Well, I think he's practically retired now, is he not? The broken bone in his foot. I don't know if it's even come around to the place where he's playing now.
I really don't know. Now, there's one other question I want to ask if they do merge, though. Do you suppose the National League will go one step further and realign and start getting the divisions? I would think they would have to.
I would, too. I would think they may have a Canadian division, an Eastern division, a Midwest division, what have you. Because where we're involved right now, the travel is almost ridiculous. When you get in an airplane, leave Detroit, fly all the way out to Los Angeles, play 1 hockey game, get back on the airplane, fly back into Detroit, and you have to do this 4 times during the season, because the only other team out there is Vancouver, and you play them only twice. So I would think certainly that they'll have an Edmonton, a Winnipeg, a Vancouver, and maybe Los Angeles, if that's what you're thinking.
Well, I was hoping something like that. I would like to see the days back when we could build up such a rivalry between, say, Toronto and Chicago and Montreal. Here we played this hockey club on December the 10th.
Yeah.
And here we are back in Chicago on March the 18th. That's an awful long time to gap in between playing games.
Well, and rivalry is such an important part of the game of hockey, too. You know that, particularly during your playing games. There are games you just kind of look forward to, because I've heard so many of the fellows talk about it. And sometimes it just didn't mean too much. Like a team doesn't get up going into a Vancouver like they do going into a Montreal, and even into here to Chicago, because this has been a tough rink for the Wings through the seasons.
Right. All right, let's just talk the National League today. Do you think that the positions are pretty well all settled right now?
Not completely. I'd say that Pittsburgh and Los Angeles are going to battle probably right down to the wire, see who gets second place in our division, the Norris division. Outside of that, I'd say yes, and maybe the most interesting race of all is going to be seeing who gets the home ice advantage of the New York Islanders and Montreal go into a final game, which they might do, or final series, because the team with the most points at the end of the season will do so, and the Montreal Canadiens are just playing terrible hockey right now.
I don't know if it's terrible, but they're not winning.
Well, they lost in Los Angeles last night. The Islanders defeated the Rangers, so New York Islanders have become the first team in the National Hockey League with 100 points, and they're 2 ahead of Montreal.
You know, somewhere a week or so ago, we mentioned the fact that Montreal may be dethroned, and it might be good for hockey.
Oh, I don't think there's any question about it, but you know doggone well if they're dethroned, they're going to come back twice as hard next season.
Bruce, I'm going to let you stop this action.
And say that the score here is 2-1. Right. Chicago Blackhawks lead the Wings, and Sid and I will be back in just a moment.
How does the Bank of the Commonwealth help me? Well, I got my checking and my savings there, but more important, when I need help, they really understand me. I mean, this guy here, he's studying law, and this bum, oh, he's into medicine. I mean, every old man wants his kid to do better than he did. So, between my back and my bank, my kid's got a future. Hey, Doc, start operating.
Trying hardest to help. That's the Bank of the Commonwealth.
My son, the judge.
Will the owner of the AMC Concord Concord, please move it.
Concord.
Why is American Motors Concord such a success? Value. Because the AMC Concord DL is a compact that comes with its luxury extras at no extra charge. Luxuries like a Landau roof, crushed velour seats, digital clock, and a smooth, quiet ride.
What is this? Everyone owns a Concord?
1979 AMC Concord, the new American success story.
Bruce, we were talking about the race between, for overall first place, between the Islanders and Montreal. Now, I'm going to ask you a difficult question. The fact that Montreal play in a division with Los Angeles, Detroit, Pittsburgh, and Washington, and play those teams 8 times, while the Islanders play in the toughest division of all hockey with Philadelphia, New York Rangers, and Atlanta, do you think that Montreal has had that advantage?
Oh, there's no question about it. And the fellow who first pointed that out to me was earlier this season when we were in Montreal. It was one of the Canadian officials who said that right now it's a good thing that Montreal is doing what they're doing with their, and that's a lot of games to play against the Washington and Detroit when they were not going well, though the Wings have given Montreal fits the last couple of games, but 8 against Washington, Pittsburgh, Los Angeles, and Detroit is a little different than playing 8 games against Atlanta, Philadelphia, and the New York Rangers, like the Islanders have had to do. Certainly, I think the Islanders have had a disadvantage there and have overcome it.
I think so, too. Here in Chicago, this is something a little different today. We have a lot of youngsters here. Can you recall, in hockey here in Chicago, they used to hang from the rafters. They're not doing it now, but promotion days.
No. They used to have 16,666 people here for every game. They'd be hanging all over the place, and you knew there had to be 20,000 or more, but the fire marshal said 16,666 when you were general manager here. And now or coach here, I have come to the conclusion that with the crowds dropping off almost 100% here, they were down 8,000 people a hockey game. Suddenly, for the first time, the management seems to have taken recognition of the fact that we need these fans. And when they weren't drawing them in with a hockey club that is well below the 500 mark, despite the fact they lead their division, all of a sudden, and Bobby Orr, believe it or not, is in charge of it all. They are marketing the game here with a stick day today, the first I ever remember like this, with score-all games being played between periods. Sid, you remember there was a tremendous snowstorm, I'm trying to think it was last year, that the Red Wings postponed a game in Detroit. They did it all around the country.
Right.
They had a tremendous snowstorm here last year. Nobody could get to the building, but the 2 teams did, so they played the game in front of, I think they must have had 200 people here total. And the fans who held tickets to the game just couldn't make it, and thus lost their ticket, lost their hockey game. And it was considered a very unfair move on the part of the Chicago management, and they took a great deal of guff for it. Well, I think the attitude is beginning to change.
I can think of another unfair thing where Chicago management were criticized. They just took it that automatically Chicago would finish in first place. They didn't, and they'd booked this building for something else, so they played the playoffs on the road instead of giving them a home game, and they didn't like that.
And you remember a few years ago, we've told the story when you were coaching, and it was in the playoffs, and Bobby Hull rattled a shot off the glass down here, and the piece of glass broke. Well, I was fortunately doing television at the time. Bud Lynch was doing the radio, and they had a circus coming in the next day, and believe it or not, they had covered all of the extra glass they had. They couldn't find a piece. So Bud was going on and on in radio. He read the rule book. He read all the statistics, I think, for 2 years back. And I was at least going back to the studio or not. It took them 1 solid hour, and they finally tore down a dog pen outside that held their security dogs and brought in a piece of the cage. And that was what they finished the game with. So, no, they have sort of forgotten hockey from time to time here at the stadium.
It could only happen here in Chicago. The score at the end of the second period is the Blackhawks 2, the Red Wings 1. We'll be back after this message.
Energy. There's a lot about it in the news lately. And everything we see and read about it is a reminder to use good judgment in using energy so there'll be more for all. The people who make Amoco heating oil want to keep your family warm and cozy. By dialing down the heat a few degrees, your house can still be comfortable, and you'll be stretching America's energy a bit further. And that's a pretty comforting thought.
The new Trans van by Champion is shorter than this car, has more room than this van, and costs less than this station wagon. Yet this Trans van sleeps up to 4 and even includes a kitchen.
Lunch is ready.
Oh, Oh, terrific.
John, presenting the Traffic Jam Burger. The amazing new Trans van by Champion. Maybe your next car shouldn't be a car.
See the new Trans van at H&W Motorhomes and Mr. Motorhome.
You know, reminiscing here between periods, there's so much history really in this Chicago building. The days of Bobby Hull and getting back to Bobby Hull, the fact that he left and jumped to World Hockey, do you think that was the total reason for the decline in crowds?
Oh, I don't think so, but I think it had a great deal to do with it. I remember a sign up here once going back a few years when Bobby Hull was playing here. The Chicago Stadium is tiered way up high. You know that because we have to walk halfway up, and that's a struggle. There isn't an escalator or an elevator in the building, and I remember several years back when they had a big sign that the fans brought in, posted over there, and back when it was big money, which it still is, the big sign said $100,000 for Bobby Hull, not 1 cent for an escalator. Well, today there was another sign up here that wants Bobby Hull back. It said $750,000 for Bobby Hull is Wirtz, which refers to Bill Wirtz, the president of the league, is Wirtz it.
Right.
So, there's been some great history here. The Zamboni machine, we were watching that go around. Sid, I think this was one of the last places to get a Zamboni. When I first started, they were still doing it with a barrel. And I'm really not that old, but yeah. But they were one of the last to go into a Zamboni, and they wouldn't buy a new one, remember?
I recall the old Zamboni breaking down between periods and started to actually misfire and jump a little bit, and the driver jumped off and bailed out.
It smoked on a couple of occasions, started to burn, and did he ever jump from it? And it used to be fun just to watch it. You talk about the old stadiums, and as we've talked about stadiums, I love them, really do. I think I felt a real pang when they tore down the old Madison Square Garden, because what a history that had and how much fun it used to be to go in there. The new Gardens is very nice, but to me it's kind of a cold building, and the real closeness that you get with hockey just doesn't seem to be there. The Boston Garden, I still like it. This is great.
Right,
and
the sight line.
Oh, yeah, and just the feeling when you walk into the building, you can feel it. And to me, one of the greatest of them all is the Olympia Stadium in Detroit, and I have really double thoughts about that situation, too. I'd like to stay there for a long time.
You've been talking about old buildings. I'm just going to change it. Talking
about
old
men,
players. The Detroit Red Wing Old-Timers have a couple of games coming up, very important games. On the 24th of March at 8 o'clock, they play University of Michigan at Dearborn. They're the college champions, and the Wing Old-Timers will take them on. And then they're going up to Alpena to play the Red Wing Junior B Hockey Club up in Alpena on the 31st. Two very good hockey games coming up for the people of that area.
They're fun to watch. You talk about old-time hockey players. I got a kick out of it when we walked in the building this afternoon. Usually the fathers and mothers will walk up to the players and they say, I'd like to have this autograph for my son, for my cousin, for my nephew, never for themselves, right? Well, the little old lady walked up to you this afternoon and said, I'd like to have this autograph for my father, Mr. Abel. That's got to be a new one.
You know, that just shows that people, even though we're getting old, they still remember, you know.
Oh, yeah, well, how long did you play here? You had...
I was only over here for 2 years as the coach. Tommy Ivan come over then, and...
you played a half a season, didn't you, as a player, coach? Or?
No, I only played actually 19 games. I just wasn't quite good enough to make this hockey club because I was pretty well retired coming over here. I was at the end of the line, and I come over, and I was considered, it's something that can't happen today. I was what they call a playing coach. It's not allowed in the National League today, but I come over here as a playing coach, and I dressed for 19 games. And I actually believe I only put myself in probably 6 or 7 hockey games.
You told me one time, a long time ago, that your decision to hang him up was administered to you by a little guy that used to play for the Wings some, Leo Levine. Is that right?
Leo Levine. Well, I used to pick up the puck. Well, this is when I was playing with Lindsay and Howe. I'd go around behind the net, and I'd figure I'm picking up a head of steam to come out, and Leo Levine used to come in, something like Perry Miller does today, where he undermines you. He'd come in, and he'd hit me low, and many times when I was up around the lights or up and around the rafters, and I always felt, if I come down, I'm going to retire. And I think he was one of them that just made me think, hey, I'm getting too old for this hockey game.
Well, you know, it's a funny thing. It's not an unsimilar situation because a young man named Roland Cloutier, the last game that these two teams played, Detroit, yes, it was the last one, the Chicago game that was played at Olympia Stadium. Roland Cloutier, you'll recall, made a move on Bobby Orr that left him standing right there, went by him, threw him, around him, scored a goal. And I think, and Bobby has said it, that as much as any other thing led to his decision that he was no longer the National Hockey League player he wanted to be.
I would say that would be one of the reasons Bobby got out of it. The score here at the end of the second period, the Chicago Blackhawks 2, the Red Wings 1, and we'll be back after this message.
You've got to keep it up if you want to be happy. Keep it up. Step inside. What do you say? Hey, you got to keep it up. Jogging in the sunshine, running through the park, having a fun time, drinking a Coke, 'cause Coke adds life to these thirsty feet of mine. Keep it up now, Coke adds life. Coca-Cola adds life.
Dr. Donald L. Golden.
More people wear contact lenses today because of the remarkable soft contact lens. This technological wonder is 40% water, as smooth and wet as the inside of your eyelid. Soft lenses are extremely pliable, easily conforming to the shape of your eye. The most important comfort breakthrough in the history of contact lenses, the soft lens. Another example of optometry and technology working together for your better vision.
Parts Plus, the sign of quality parts, competitively priced, plus the kind of service you can count on. Valvoline isn't just for winning races, it's for anybody who wants the best protection possible for their hard-working engine. And now you can treat your car to Valvoline 10W40 all-season motor oil for just 69 cents a quart at your nearest participating Parts Plus auto store.
Look for auto stores displaying this sign, Parts Plus, for automotive name brands you trust.
Many of our guests on these telecasts receive a $100 gift certificate from Cousins Clothiers, where fit has been foremost for over 50 years. Sid, we're talking a little bit about the various divisions of the National Hockey League and whatnot, but what is interesting to me is the fact that if the Detroit Red Wings were in the Smythe division, currently led by Chicago, they would be currently tied for second place and have a shot at first instead of being in last and completely out of it.
Well, that just shows how weak this other division is. They're sitting up with 62 points, Chicago and Maine, and have a 12-point lead with a game or two in hand on Vancouver. Vancouver right now, though, Bruce, they have to be a little concerned. They're only 6 points ahead of St. Louis, and St. Louis have a game in hand, and they're playing in Vancouver on Wednesday, those same two clubs, and that's going to be a very important game for them.
Chicago leads the Smythe division with 62 points, 25 wins, 31 losses, and 12 ties. The last place team in the Patrick division you were talking about, the Islanders, Rangers, Atlanta, and Philadelphia, is Philadelphia. And Philadelphia has 80 points. They'd be 18 points out in front in first place in this division instead of last place in the division they're in.
But imagine a club getting into the playoffs that possibly will only have 50 or 50, say 54 or 56 points, and it could be Vancouver.
Well, right now the business at hand is the third period of this hockey game. The teams are at full strength, though Terry Harper along with Ted Bully remain in the penalty box with their offsetting major penalties. 2-1, Chicago leads the play in the corner in the Chicago zone. Jammed in along the boards is Saint Laurent, and the play stopped, and the face-off will stay to the left side of Tony Esposito. The Red Wings have outshot Chicago 23-20 at this stage of the hockey game. Goal scored by Marks. The Red Wings were all intent and purpose 2 men short, and Chicago won at the time, though Hamel had just stepped back out onto the ice, so it goes as not a power play goal, and then Cole scored. While the Wings had the extra man, Saint Laurent got it back on the same power play when he was set up by Nedemansky, and that's where we stand right now. Willie Hubert drilled a shot. That deflected away. Dave Logan in behind his own goal. Logan turned away from Saint Laurent's check, hands it off to Murray. Now Bob Murray to Lysiak. It bounced out center ice, and Mulvey cleared it in behind the Detroit goal. Kerr goes in after it. Kerr let it come back all the way into the Chicago end, and Logan has it there. Now this is Bob Murray. The puck dipped into the Detroit end. Rutherford out of the goal, cleared it away from Mulvey. Now Tommy Bergman. He starts Saint Laurent out. Polonich is on the right side. Over the line, offside was Polonich.
Andre Saint Laurent is playing a strong hockey game today, but the wingmen playing with him have to realize that he
doesn't pass the puck as often as a lot of other center icemen, and he has a tendency to hold it a step or two longer, and Dennis just got a little anxious to get into the zone and beat him over the line.
So now it's McCourt, Nedemansky, and LeBratton. Puck slid to the blue line. Larson went in after it, but it was tipped away by Greg Fox. Nedemansky hands it off to Perry Miller. Now to Danny LeBratton. He was checked, and Mikita picks it up. He played it to the open side, so Reed Larson sent it back out center ice. John Marks, he's set up one goal, scored another. Over the line, Nedemansky. Esposito knocked his shot away, came back to the line for Perry Miller, and drove the shot, knocked down out in front by Mikita. Stan Mikita turning in behind his own goal. Now Mikita, he's still got the moves, works his way to the line. He hands it off to Marks, and Rutherford kicked his shot out. Danny LeBratton, he's being checked by Coral. The play stays in the Detroit end. Going into the corner after it now, Perry Miller in behind his own goal, took a bounce off the back of the net. Reed Larson couldn't get it out. Miller sends it into the corner again, and Danny LeBratton has it. Now LeBratton pinned by Stan Mikita, played out on the left side, but not out. Coral will go in with Perry Miller. Miller gave him a bump. The play still deep in the Detroit end. Larson hands it off to Miller. Now Perry Miller ahead to McCourt, and it skips away from him. Goes down the ice, and they'll call an icing and bring it back into the Detroit zone. 2-1 Chicago. We'll be back in a moment.
My Jeep pickup challenges you guys to take that hill.
Easy.
You got it.
Your automatic four-wheel drive pickups against my Jeep with Quadra-Track automatic four-wheel drive.
Normal automatic?
Right. The Chevy's losing traction.
The Ford's spinning its wheels. Afraid the Dodge is slipping too. Hey, look at the Jeep pickup climb. No trouble at all. Gotta admit it. Under these conditions, Jeep's got the best traction.
And best traction means best pickup, huh, guys? See a Jeep dealer for test results that prove who's got the best traction.
Well, there's the line with McCourt at center. That's Nedemansky on the right side of the screen. Danny LeBratton on the left. They're on the bench. On the ice right now is Hogabaum, Woods, and Danny Bolduc. Paul Woods. Woods' pass just skipped away from Hogabaum. Now picking it up is Bolduc and Woods. Woods goes over the line. Hogabaum handing it off to Bolduc, and his shot deflected away by Logan. Hogabaum and Bolduc moving in. Now the puck sent to the line. Willie Huber kept it in. His shot deflected up over the glass and into the crowd. Play stays just inside the Chicago blue line. Well, there's a fella said that I think everybody agrees gets a little stronger, seemingly, with every hockey game.
He's going to be a good one. There's no doubt about it. Little green yet, too. He has to learn a few things.
Paul Woods given a bump along the boards by Murray. Now Bordelot over the line into the Detroit zone. A drop pass for Daigle. Off to Filipov. He was checked. And the wings move out with Bolduc. Playing it over on the left side to Paul Woods. Woods let it roll off his stick, and the Hawks start right back. At center ice, Daigle. Daigle got it to the line. Checked there by John Hamel. Hamel dumped him to the ice. Now the wings start out. Bolduc on the right side. Woods broke his stick, and the play went into the Chicago end with Greg Fox back after it. Here's Greg Fox coming out. Dumping it into the Detroit zone. Saint Laurent goes after it. Played it in behind the goal to Willie Huber. Now Huber handed it back to Saint Laurent to Jean Hamel. Hamel. Long pass on the left side to Errol Thompson. Thompson tried to work it to Saint Laurent, but that's broken up. O'Connell swings it out on the left side. Red Kerr. Kerr ridden off the puck by Polonich. It goes to the corner, and they hold it there. Face off to the right of the Detroit goal. Wings playing without Greg Jolly, who suffered a muscle spasm in the victory over St. Louis yesterday. And, of course, Nick Libet, who remains out of the lineup with that strained knee ligament. Brent Peterson, one of the Wings' first-round draft choices, who broke his leg 5 games into the season and hasn't been back. Reed Larson and Miller are the 2 Detroit defensemen now. Saint Laurent in against Tom Lysiak. Well, he was. Lysiak has waved out of the face-off circle, so Reg Kerr comes on. Linesman staring down Kerr, dropped the puck. Wings won the draw. Reed Larson dumping it out on the left side. Errol Thompson hemmed in immediately. Going in after it, though, Reed Larson played it ahead to San Laurent. Andre San Laurent turning away from Mulvey's check. Now coming out center ice. Here's San Laurent, got by one man, got over the line, and Mulvey had his stick all tied up. And the puck driven back into the Detroit zone. Thompson's going to have to play it. They waved off the icing. Now Thompson, a dangerous pass, but he got away from it. Larson has Miller moving. Barry Miller with Polonich on the right side. Miller's pass didn't get through it, laid right there, driven into the corner. And going in after it, Chicago clearing into the corner for Greg Fox, and now to Kerr. He played it out center ice, and Polonich knocked it back in offside.
I have one more group of Detroit fans, Bruce, to mention. Robert Holloway and family are here. It's young Robert's birthday today. A very good friend of mine that comes to a lot of road games. Al Simmons from New Baltimore. Want to say hello. Steve and Michelle Watson from Troy, Michigan. Jim O'Million, Steve Wright, Chet Steffen, and Mike Lozowski are all here and want to say hello to the folks back in Detroit.
Now it's LeBratton, McCord, and Nedemansky again. Puck kept in, no it wasn't, over the line as Tommy Bergman slashed it back in. And the face-off on the offside again comes out over the Chicago blue line. The Blackhawks lead at 2-1. We had no scoring in the first period. Tommy Bergman, he sat out the last few games with an injury. No scoring in the first period. Detroit out shooting Chicago 10-8. Then John Marks, well, Chicago actually held a one-man advantage, playing 4-5, but Detroit's penalized player Hamel just stepping out of the penalty box. That's when the Blackhawks scored the first goal. Here's John Marks putting it out in front. Huber tipped it over to the side. Now Willie Huber goes back after it and behind his own goal to Bergman. Tommy Bergman on the right wing now to Nedemansky. Three of the wings move out. A long pass. LeBratton takes it over two lines offside. Good play had it worked. Penalty time to Harper, and Ted Bully is all over now, and they move out of the penalty box. We had played a little less than 5 minutes in the third period. A lot of time left. Same two teams at Olympia Stadium Tuesday night. We'll be with you on WDE Radio for that one, 20 minutes past 7 o'clock. Then next Wednesday night, the Wings will again be at Toronto to face the Maple Leafs, and that'll be right here on TV 50. Mark's pass ended up on Logan's stick and broken up now by Huber. This pass too far for LeBratton. That's rolling down the ice. They dig after it, and LeBratton evidently didn't touch it first. They call the icing as there's the shoving of players off to the side of the Chicago goal. But that's broken up, and with a score 2-1 Blackhawks, we'll be back in a moment.
It's special.
That looks really nice and cold.
It's special. Tastes the best special.
Looks refreshing. I can tell you, it's got a Labatt's taste.
Yeah.
And it's a real Canadian taste.
Has it got body?
That's it. It's got body.
It's special. Tastes the best special.
And yet it has less than 99 calories in a bottle.
Tastes the best special.
The Detroit Red Wings unbeaten in their last 4 games. They've tied 2 and won 2. The Blackhawks have the record on the other side. They haven't won in their last 4. There's a shot by Marks, deflected way up into the crowd. Face-off stays the rim of the circle to the left of Jimmy Rutherford. So the Wings would like to get one here to tie her all up. 2-1. Chicago leads it. Here's Marks again. Marks hands it off to Logan. Logan held it in, played it into the corner. Tommy Bergman had Coral all covered up. Coral, though, went in after it. Puck bounced high in the air. Bergman got it loose, hands it off to Danny LeBratton. A long pass, but broken up by Marks. He's played a strong game. Now Huber goes after it. Willie Huber playing it to McCord. He knocked it into the Chicago zone, and Logan goes after it. It's played back out center ice. Perry Miller. Now Miller starts Nedemansky into the Chicago zone. Ned pulls up, looking for somebody. Handed it off to Perry Miller. Miller fired the shot, and he shot it wide. And it came out center ice. That puck was up on end when Miller let it go. Reed Larson. Larson jumping it back in. Murray knocks it down, and the Hawks will turn out. Now Murray out on the right side. It skipped away from Bordelot. Errol Thompson shot it into the Chicago end. In behind his own net, Dave Logan. Now the Hawks start out with Reg Kerr coming out center ice. He overskated it. Still, he worked it to Filipoff. Now Filipoff and Miller go into the back of the net after it. They bump heavily along the boards. That puck loose, and here's Bordeleau with it. Back on the line to Greg Fox. Fox dumped it back of the net again. It goes into the opposite corner. Kerr goes after it. Played it back on the line. Kerr controls it. It's dumped in behind the Detroit net. Reed Larson going into the corner after it. Larson bumped in along the boards by Filipoff. Rutherford feeds it off now to Miller. Went off his skate, and the Wings just got away with it as Rutherford was coming back. Now Kerr for Chicago. Filipoff took it in, covered by Larson. J.P. LeBlanc hands it off now to Perry Miller. Miller bringing it out to center ice. Miller winds up for a long shot, but it was offside going into the Chicago zone. 12:53 to go in the third period. We'll be back in a moment.
We're Fred Drendel, Lincoln Mercury. Before anything else, that means we're people who care.
Well, it's just like any other business in any community in the world. I think that if you're going to be a business leader, then you have to be a community leader also. I think that's very important because you're setting the pace for the community, you and all your fellow business leaders.
On Oakland near Telegraph in Pontiac.
Bruce Martin along with Sid Abel, Director Marvin Muse from here at our telecast location, Chicago Stadium. Red Wings trail the hockey game 2-1. Just a little less than 13 minutes to play in this, the third period. Alan Daigle moves out now for Chicago. Paul Woods tipped it away from him, and Woods drives it down the ice. It's rolling, and it is not going far enough. They waved off the icing. So the Hawks will bring it back. Fox's pass broken up by Harper. Covering up is O'Connell. Mike O'Connell. Harper tipped it away from him. Paul Woods drops it back for Jean Hamel. Now Hamel over on the right side to Dan Bolduc. He sweeps it into the corner in behind the Chicago net. Going after it, O'Connell, as Chicago moves out. Mike O'Connell playing it off to the side of the Detroit goal. Woods went after it. He tied up his man, and Billy Hogebaum swept it out. That's O'Connell faking the shot, then handed it right to Hogebaum. Three of the Wings come out. Right side pass to Bolduc. He's got Fox in front of him. Fox tipped it off his stick. Bolduc dug it out of the corner again. Danny Bolduc. He's got Hamel. Hamel drilled the shot. Knocked down out in front by Fox. And Fox sent it back out center ice. John Hamel with it there. John Hamel got it to the line. That's as far as he got, though. And O'Connell starts back, tripped a long shot. Rutherford deflected it into the corner. Danny Bolduc sent it right out in front of his own net. And the puck driven away by Hamel. Now Saint Laurent. Andre Saint Laurent giving it now to Jean Hamel. Hamel at center ice. His pass went off Bolduc. And the Blackhawks shoot it right back into the Detroit zone. Harper in after it. Harper played it too far. It was actually stopped by the linesman, though, and so the play comes back into the Detroit end. John Hamel over on the left wing for Errol Thompson. Now Thompson scoops it ahead. Too far for Saint Laurent. Wings are just off a touch on the passing as Reg Kerr. He cleared it ahead to Bordeleau. Bordeleau tried to drop it back. Tony Bergman has him all covered. Now it's Dennis Polonich. He played it to Tommy Bergman, three of the Wings. Here's Saint Laurent on the left side, and offside was Thompson. And the play back out over the Chicago line. Well, the Red Wings will be back into action again next Wednesday when they take on the tough Toronto Maple Leafs from Maple Leaf Gardens with our telecast time here on TV 50 at 8 o'clock. Michigan State University this afternoon defeating Notre Dame 80-68 to move up and onward in the NCAA play. 2-1, Chicago Blackhawks lead Detroit. 10:48 to go in the third period. Bordeleau dumped it to the Detroit line. Tommy Bergman tipped it ahead to Saint Laurent. Over on the left side, Errol Thompson with a shot. That went wide. Here's Polonich holding it in. He drove a shot wide. Now it'll be Tommy Bergman on the left side, but he bounced it. It's kept in by Saint Laurent. Andre Saint Laurent turning with it. Saint Laurent, back it comes to Willie Huber. Huber's shot was blocked. And then he bumped into Filipoff, and the puck drops back into the Detroit zone. Tommy Bergman clearing it beyond Saint Laurent. Bob Murray. Murray shooting it back into the Detroit end. That's Clip Coral. Coral bumped in along the boards by Huber. Stan Leroy lost it to Filipoff, and it's taken by Tommy Bergman, and Bergman sweeps it out center ice. Knocked down there by Murray. Bob Murray turning with it. Now to Makita. Stan Makita. His pass broken up by McCourt, but picked up now by Fox. Fox laid it into the corner in the Detroit zone. Polonic was bumped off the puck, and Perry Miller covering up, clears it now to Dan LeBratton. LeBratton just shoots it down the ice. That gives the Wings time to change the rest of their line. John Marks coming back now. Ahead to Makita into the Detroit zone, but Marks was offside, and Makita did a little dipsy-doodling over the blue line. 9.5 minutes exactly to go in the hockey game. Chicago 2, Detroit 1.
This has been a good hockey game, up and down pretty well all night long. The third period, not quite as much. The goaltenders have they've been the dominating forces so far. Excellent saves by both.
From the face-off, this is Perry Miller. Off to Reed Larson, moving out center ice. He passed it too far for McCourt. They waved him off pacing again. And the Hawks have it in their own zone. Greg Fox cleared it to the line. Larson battles to hold it in. It's kept in by LeBratton, but his pass didn't get through, and Nedomansky comes chasing back after it. Now Nedomansky turning at his own blue line. Cleared it ahead to LeBratton. On the right side to Larson to Nedomansky. It bounced over his stick. Coral covers up. Cliff Coral. His pass to Makita. Makita played it back into the Detroit zone. Larson goes back after it. John Marks chasing him. Into the corner, McCourt drops it back for Larson. Now to Nedomansky, ahead to LeBratton. That was too far, and there'll be an icing call as it's touched back of the goal by O'Connell. We'll be back right after this message.
Isn't it incredible how your tableware seems to disappear? No matter how often you replace it, there's never enough to match or go around. Now at Bank of the Commonwealth, when you put money into your savings, you can put Oneida Stamus on your table. So you collect Oneida, and your money collects interest, trying hardest to help. That's the Bank of the Commonwealth.
Deposit this at the bank, Beecham. We'll need another place setting for the ambassador.
Yes, madam.
Face-off will be in the circle to the right of the Detroit goal. J.P. LeBlanc's come out as you watch Bobby Crum behind the net. He's taken the spot usually occupied by Bolduc on this line with Hogebaum and Paul Woods. Lysiak, as he has been a couple of times, again waved out of the face-off circle. So Mulvey comes in to face Bill Hogebaum. Play in the Detroit zone. Puck dropped. Came right back to Hogebaum. Couldn't get the stick on it. He's got it on a pass from Harper. Now Hogebaum over the line. Dropped it off. It was away from Woods. Woods went chasing after it. Hogebaum put it out in front, but J.P. LeBlanc just couldn't reach it. Now Mulvey heads back for Chicago. A long shot wide of the net. John Hamel goes digging back after. Oh, he ever fell into the ice. There's going to be a penalty coming up to Chicago. And Hamel is down on the ice in behind the goal.
I have never seen a
blindsided.
I have never seen a collision like that in hockey in all the years. Bully, I believe, is the player that hit him. Bully has gone to the penalty box, even with all the players and everyone down at the other end of the ice.
Bully just made a run at Hamel and just caught him in behind the Detroit goal. You talk about a charging.
Here the puck is thrown into the Detroit zone. That's Hamel just coming back now. You'll watch Hamel come from one side of the net. There's Hamel coming right now. And here comes Bully. John doesn't see him, and Bully jumped and really made contact, and Hamel is still down, I believe, behind the net. There are so many players there we can't see.
He is. Lefty Wilson continuing to work on him. Well, jumping into a player constitutes charging, Sid, does it not?
Yes, there's no doubt it's a charging play, and the fact that John Hamel was making a play on the puck. He never did see what happened.
I think they may give him...
This might be a deliberate attempt to injure
by... It could be a 5-minute penalty if it is. They posted 2.
They're bringing the doctor out now from the Chicago bench to... Oh, John's up. He's going to be all right.
They're going to give him 5 minutes, Sid, and well, they should. Hamel is up. I don't think he knows where he is right now.
He's going off. He looks all right. He's looking up at the clock and skating off with Lefty Wilson.
So he gets a 5-minute penalty.
It could be, too, that John Hamel was cut a little in the accident, and that would automatically call for 5 minutes. A charging penalty like that, he probably might have got the lumber up.
Stan Mikita giving argument. That's Bully standing up in the penalty box. What it means now is the Red Wings have there's John Hamel with Lefty Wilson working on him. There's where that helmet comes in handy, I'll tell you.
I should say.
The Red Wings are going to have a man advantage for 5 solid minutes unless there is a further penalties. And whether the Wings score or not, the major penalty means that Bully cannot come back out onto the ice. Let's take another look at it, Sid.
Well, there's John Hamel coming. Now he's making a play on the puck along the boards, and watch Bully jump right there. And he gets his shoulder into the side of John Hamel's face. He's got the lumber up with it. John Hamel went heavily to the ice. Bully skated right to the penalty box. He knew he was gone. There's Lefty Wilson with an ice pack in the back of John Hamel's neck, and he's talking to him.
Tell you, John Hamel had to prove himself this season, Sid. He was sent to the minor league team in Kansas City very early, and they brought up, I'm going to say, 4 rookie defensemen, Glockner and Hillworth, Baft and Vasco, before they ever gave John his chance, and since he's been here, he has been playing well.
He is a real hard-nosed, come-to-play hockey player, and he knows that if he has shortcomings, he tries to make up with effort.
Well, the face-off, if it ever takes place, will be out over the Detroit blue line. We have 8 minutes and 9 seconds to go. A 5-minute charging penalty to Bully called at 11 minutes and 51 seconds. Chicago fans, I think, are probably I was going to say the worst in the league when it comes. You'll recall the last time here, they had a fight up in the stands with about 100 people involved.
I certainly recall, and that's something that you never want to see in a building.
Now here's Reed Larson handing it off to Perry Miller. Larson sends it out to Errol Thompson. Back to Larson over the line. Now that's San Laurent. San Laurent took the shot. Esposito grabbed it. It goes into the corner. San Laurent was on the board. Polonich got into it. It came to Thompson. Now back on the line to Reed Larson. He hands it back to Thompson. Errol Thompson back on the point to Larson. Now Errol Thompson again. Thompson off the side of the goal. He held it instead. Now the wings of the extra man. San Laurent back to Larson. Larson put it right out in front. They score! The puck tipped in right out in front of Esposito. The game is tied. And the Wings still have the extra man for 4 minutes and 21 seconds.
That was not a typical Reed Larson shot. It was right along the ice. A deflection. I think possibly St. Laurent hit a skate out in front. Thompson to St. Laurent. St. Laurent or back to Larson. Now right along the ice and not quite that hard. A deflection, I think, right there by Errol Thompson.
That's his 300th point.
151 goals and 149 assists. 300. He got a stick on it, just changed the direction right through Tony Esposito's legs.
So he gets his 20th goal of the year. Thompson with Larson drawing one of the assists.
And I think St. Laurent will have to draw the other. They passed back and forth in the corner a couple times.
You can see still 4 minutes and 21 seconds remaining in the penalty to Ted Bully. So the Wings still have the extra man. Reed Larson at his own blue line gives it now to Perry Miller. Game tied at 2-2. Fox played it back to the Detroit line. Perry Miller now to San Laurent. Andre San Laurent back to Larson. Errol Thompson was checked by Kerr. 4 minutes exactly remaining in the penalty time. Larson. Center ice pass. San Laurent dumped it over on the right side. A bouncing shot. Esposito played it toward the corner. The puck didn't come out. That's Polonich trying to get at it. He does. Goes into the corner with it. Back now to Perry Miller. Off to Larson. Larson hands it off to Thompson with a shot. That was blocked. It comes back now to Miller. Miller drove a shot. He scores! And the Wings lead it 3-2. And now there are 3 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in the costly penalty to Bully.
That's taken advantage of an opportunity. Here's a play where Larson made the pass into Thompson. He played it off his skates. Hit another skate. He finally switched it across and went all the way over to Miller just on the top of the circle. And he let a slap shot go. I don't think it hit anyone at all, but it may have. And it went in the corner of the net to put the Wings ahead 3-2 with 6:44 to go. And there's still, as Bruce mentioned, 3 minutes and 35 seconds to go in the penalty.
So this goal comes 46 seconds after the goal scored by Thompson.
There's Bully in the penalty box with his head down. No doubt he will hear about this. I can't hear the announcement, Bruce. Lefty Wilson is still working with John Hano.
Assisted by Thompson and Larson at 13-16.
Miller from Thompson and Larson.
Well, they've littered the ice here again, and the maintenance crew out taking care of it, and Bobby Popert in behind the Chicago bench has seen a very costly penalty to Ted Bully, result in first the tying and then the go-ahead goal by Detroit.
I don't know if I'm incorrect or not, Bruce. The Wings, I think, were tied for the lead in power play goals coming into this game.
And they've got 3 of them now.
People throwing, no doubt, pennies and nickels and dimes on the ice. That's probably the most dangerous thing there is out on the surface of the ice. They just embed themselves, and a skate hits them, and down you go.
Let me ask you this, Sid. As we go back to the penalty call in Ted Bully, which has become a very important call in this hockey game, were you in agreement with it?
Oh, definitely. He took advantage. He knew that John Hamel wasn't aware that he was coming in at that angle. Had he just gone in, Bruce, and squeezed or took the boards away from Jean Hamel, but the fact that he jumped, got his elbow and shoulder and that up into Jean Hamel's head, it was a deliberate penalty, and whether he deliberately meant to hurt him or not, I don't know, but it was a terrific collision.
Super 6 Tire Centers brings you moments to remember. 3 former Red Wings picked up 7 scoring points in a single game. Can you name 2 of them? Well, you talked about the old-timer, Sid.
An old left-winger from many years ago, Carl Liskin, November the 5th, 1942, against the New York Rangers. Don Grosso, my old center iceman, February the 3rd, 44, against the Rangers. And Billy Taylor, who played for the Wings for a while, was a Toronto Star, March the 16th, 1947, against the Chicago Blackhawks.
So the Red Wings have scored twice with Ted Bully in the penalty box and still have 3 minutes and 35 seconds to go. I said a little while ago that we were separated here at Chicago from the crowd, but there are 2 or 3 vocals who've moved in behind us. Now here is LeBratton over on the right side to Nedemansky. He was checked with holding it in, Willie Huber. Huber sends it back now to Tommy Bergman with a shot, and that went just wide. In along the boards, Huber didn't stop it. It went by him, and at center ice, Huber sweeps it off to Tommy Bergman. LeBratton, McCord, and Nedemansky up front. Here now is Nedemansky. Back into the Chicago zone, tried to work it through to McCord, didn't do it. And the Hawks clear it back down the ice, and now 3 minutes remain in Bully's penalty. Tommy Bergman. Now he leaves it for Dale McCourt. McCourt trying to pull away from Coral, brings it out to center ice. Into the Chicago zone. He picks it up a second time with a shot, and it went wide. Tommy Bergman holding it in at the blue line. He played it to LeBratton, came right back to Tommy, now to Willie Huber. Huber's pass skipped away from LeBratton. LeBratton went after it, put it out in front. Let the Hawks take it. Now Chicago comes out, 3 of them down the ice. Murray over the line, and he was ridden off the puck as Tommy Bergman goes in after it. Tommy starts out. 3-2 Detroit. Wings have the extra man. Hogebaum to LeBratton. Here now Danny LeBratton. Played it back to Perry Miller with a shot, and he sailed it just wide. Huber holds it in, goes to the corner with it. Willie Huber digging it back to the line now for Nedemansky with a shot. The save made, and LeBratton missed on the rebound. Huber goes in behind the goal. Willie Huber sets it off to LeBratton. Danny put it right on the stick of Reg Kerr, and the Hawks come back. Now Kerr, with only Miller in front of him, took the shot, and Miller deflected it up into the crowd. And 1 minute and 48 seconds still in the penalty time. 4:57 in the third period. The Wings, trailing 2-0, have scored 3 power play goals to come back and lead by 1. Our guests receive a gift certificate for a pair of Clark shoes or boots from Sherman Shoe Stores in Birmingham, Somerset Mall, Fairlane, and Lakeside Centers, and 12 Oaks in Novi. Puck went right to Rutherford. He clears it into the corner. Perry Miller drops it off for Hogabaum. Hogabaum, Bolduc, and Woods up front. Here now, Danny Bolduc. He tried to work away from Fox. He did. He got it over the line. O'Connell knocked it away from him, though. Fox kicked it. He had broken his stick and still made the play. Good move by the former Atlanta Flame. Detroit has the extra man for 1 minute 20. They kick away at the puck at center right. It's driven back into the Detroit zone. A bouncing shot. Rutherford handles that carefully. Perry Miller. Now Miller drops it off for Saint Laurent, who comes out center ice. Andre Saint Laurent over the line. Saint Laurent's pass will be taken by Larson. He couldn't get to it. And it goes down the ice, and Rutherford stops it in behind his own goal. And the Wings, who were so sharp in the first minute and a half of the penalty, have not been since that stoppage when the fans here littered the ice. Now here's Saint Laurent coming out. Over the line, Andre Saint Laurent worked right out in front. He took the shot, the save made, and the rebound. Thompson fired it wide. Oh, Saint Laurent had the open net and just couldn't lift it up. Puck came back to the line. Thompson has it there. Thompson's pass broken up by Daigle. It's sent to the line. That's Dennis Polonich holding it in. Reed Larson with a chance, a shot right on. Here's Polonich out in front. He got to the puck. It came back to Miller. Miller played it now to Saint Laurent. Andre Saint Laurent in the corner. Now Polonich back on the line to Miller. 7 seconds left in the penalty. Polonich sets up Reed Larson with a drive that goes wide. And then Murray really knocked down Saint Laurent. Penalty's over. Bully's on. Here's Polonich back on the line. Miller another drive that went wide. And Esposito holds on to it. And out in front of the goal, Murray was dumped by Saint Laurent. Six up high with Polonich and Red Kerr. And the penalty over to Ted Bully. Saint Laurent and Murray have the six up high, 2 off to the side of the net. Well, we have 3 minutes and 2 seconds to go in the game. It's 3-2 Detroit, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Can I offer you a Coke, sir?
No.
7-Up, some coffee?
No.
Something a little stronger.
No. I'd rather Verner's.
No matter what else you got, don't get caught with your burners down.
Wherever you're going, it's nice to know Verner's is there. Nothing can replace Verner's mysteriously refreshing taste. Absolutely nothing. Don't get caught with your Verner's down.
The Wings having excellent chances to put the game possibly out of reach, and Esposito decides to freeze the puck. There's Polonich tying up with Logan. Logan knocked him back down, and just off the picture, St. Laurent tangled with Murray. There were no penalties called. It was just they were fighting for their spots out around the net.
3 minutes and 2 seconds still to go. In the game, the Wings lead it 3-2. John Hamel remains on the Detroit bench with a helmet back on, so I am led to believe, Sid, that he is all right.
I would think so now. He had an ice pack on his neck for quite some time, back of his head, but he appears though he's ready for action. He's talking to Harper over there on the bench.
For defensive purposes, J.P. LeBlanc has replaced LeBratton on the line now with McCourt and Nedemansky. Pucks it right to Esposito. That's O'Connell clearing it on the left side for Mike Walton. Now Walton, he played it to Bordelot, shot in behind the Detroit net. Jimmy Rutherford over on the left side for J.P. LeBlanc. He swings it out to center ice. Back after it is Fox. He put it right on the stick of McCourt. McCourt handed it off to Lysiak. 2:40 to go. Tom Lysiak shooting it back to the Detroit goal again. Again, Rutherford stopped it. Plays it into the corner. J.P. LeBlanc handed it to Tommy Bergman. Tommy starts out. He was checked, still controls it. He got it out center ice. With it now is Walton. Mike Walton's pass broken up by Nedemansky, and he's taken out of the play immediately by Lysiak. Puck driven into the Detroit zone. Tommy Bergman stopped Mulvey right in his tracks. And Tommy will clear it off the boards back into the Chicago end. 2 minutes, 10 seconds to go. Wings lead 3-2. Now it's center ice. Tom Lysiak's pass picked up by Bordeleau. Bordeleau pulling away from Nedemansky. He's slowed up by Huber. Oh, here comes a cheap penalty to Willie Huber. Referee Bruce Hood has called a penalty on Willie Huber that you couldn't believe. And we'll come back to look at it after we pause for this.
Will the owner of the AMC Concorde please move it?
Concorde?
Why is American Motors Concorde such a success? Value. Because the AMC Concorde DL is a compact that comes with its luxury extras at no extra charge. Luxuries like a Landau roof, crushed velour seats, digital clock, and a smooth, quiet ride. 1979 AMC Concorde, the new American success story.
See all the new AMC cars for $79 at your Metro Detroit AMC dealers.
This, in a way, is a little bit of an evener because as the player tries to skip in between Willie Huber, Bordeleau, Willie Huber got his arm out, although he did grab with his free arm.
That's a normal
referee
effect, though, in hockey.
Yes, ordinarily when a player tries to go between the boards and another player, you bring your arm out and stop him from getting through.
So Huber's off for holding at 18:05. Wings pick it up, and it's cleared out by Perry Miller. Back into the Chicago zone. It's Paul Woods and McCourt, penalty killers, along with Larson and Perry Miller. Keep an eye on Esposito. He may be coming out for the extra attacker still. Play goes into the opposite corner. Larson goes in along with Filippov. Puck jammed in along the boards. It came loose. Mikita couldn't find it. And fired all the way down the ice by Dale McCourt with 1:25 to go in the third period. 3-2 Detroit. Now Chicago has the extra man. Walton cleared it into the corner. Esposito playing well out of the net. Paul Woods let it come to the line. And it's Filippov holding it in, but Reed Larson has it. He lifts it in the air and shoots it down the ice. Esposito is still in the net. 1 minute and 5 seconds to go. Here's Filippov. On the left side, Walton. His pass knocked down. Played by O'Connell, then tipped back into the Chicago end. Lysiak back after it. 50 seconds to play. 3-2 Detroit. Now Tom Lysiak into the Detroit zone. Lysiak goes to the corner. Played it the opposite side. Esposito's out of the goal. That puck in along the boards. Woods falls down on top of it. And the play will stay to the left of the Detroit goal. And again, sticks come up high. 38 seconds still to play in the hockey game.
Paul Woods made the right play there. He just made sure that he covered the puck.
Face-off will be to the left of the Detroit goal. Hey, fans, stop in at any Parks Plus Auto store. Fill out a coupon for a Fan Appreciation Award of 2 box seats at the March 31st Red Wing and Los Angeles game. On each televised game, Parks Plus will present this Fan Appreciation Award during the Parks Plus post-game show. Chicago net is empty.
I think Bobby Crom has called the 30-second timeout to give his boys a breather. Maybe Chicago. Chicago players are all over their bench too. So
38 seconds remaining in the game. Chicago has lifted the goaltender, so that'll give them 6 attackers to Detroit's 4 defenders, plus Rutherford. Face-off will be back into the Detroit end. Referee Bruce Hood has called a total of 12 penalties in the game, 7 to Chicago, 5 to Detroit. And the one big penalty to Ted Bully, who was given 5 minutes for charging, and the Wings tied the game and went out in front 3-2 while he sat in the penalty box. Wings have given up a shorthanded goal and then scored on the same power play. Face off to the left of the Detroit net, and Makita will go in against Dale McCourt. Big face off. 38 seconds to play. And somebody threw something on the ice just as the puck was dropped.
And that may have taught Dale McCourt something. The minute Makita touched the puck and he got possession of it after the face-off, he swished it right back out to the point man. Dale McCourt could have gone to school off that face-off. If he doesn't win the face-off, be aware of a pass back to the point.
And that's right where it came, back to the line for Mike Walton. Walton with a shot, and Rutherford drove it away. And McCourt picks it up and shoots it down the ice. And it went off a Chicago player, so there'll be no icing. Puck cleared over on the left side for John Marks. Marks turned around, but still now the Hawks come out. Here's a long pass. Perry Miller juggled it, and he sweeps it back out. It bounces into the Chicago end with 12 seconds to go. Now here's the pass to Filipov, stopped by Larson. Larson scores! And the Wings win it with an empty net goal by Reed Larson. It's 4-2.
And talk about accuracy on a shot. He checked Filipov along the boards, and he was right at the center ice line. The pass is made up to Filipov right along the boards. Larson squeezes him away from the puck, and then in one motion shoots it practically center of the net, just a little to the right of center, from dead center ice to clinch this game with 7 seconds to go. The Wings 4, Chicago 2.
And Reed Larson gets his 15th goal of the season at 19 minutes and 53 seconds. And the Red Wings are on their way to winning their third straight game. And on the road in their last 9 games, or rather 8 games, they will have won 5 and tied 1 and lost only 2. Bruce Hood, I think, rather wisely says the heck with it. Let him throw the debris on the ice. He's going to finish off the last 7 seconds. And the Wings are still short a man, so it will be a short-handed goal that Detroit scored, Larson's goal. And as the buzzer goes, the Wings move back around Jimmy Rutherford and congratulate him. And Detroit will skate off with a 4-2 victory. And we'll be back to recap it all for you after we pause for this message.
I'm accustomed to riding around in Cadillacs. So why am I in this AMC Pacer wagon instead of a Cadillac? Well, this Pacer is not only quite luxurious and handles so easily, but it also has an astounding amount of room. Did you know that the AMC Pacer is just about as wide as a Cadillac? So it feels like a big car, even though it isn't. And I feel like I'm in a big car, even though I'm not.
AMC Pacer feels like a big car, but it isn't.
Little Caesar's Pizza, nobody loves it like a kid from 2 weeks. Nobody loves it like Little Caesar's Pizza. Nobody loves it like my favorite treat. Nobody loves it like I did, Little Caesar's Pizza.
See your local TV book for a free pizza coupon.
Yeah, the banks are all alike. They say they want to help, but where are they when you need them?
When I needed help, they told me that I didn't have enough of my money to get any of their money.
Sure, you guys have been banking with the wrong banks. The Bank of the Commonwealth, they helped me send my kid through college. Braces for my daughter's teeth. My wife's car. In fact, I get so much help from my bank, my family thinks I'm made of money.
Here, let's see you make this into money.
Trying hardest to help. That's the Bank of the Commonwealth.
Just like my family.
Red Wing Hockey on TV 50. Wednesday at 8, the Wings will be in Maple Leaf Garden for the last time this season. Jimmy Rutherford will be rejecting the Maple Leaf shots while Andre Saint Laurent and Dale McCourt skate through the Toronto defense. Bruce Martin and Sid Abel will be on hand as the Red Wings battle the Maple Leafs Wednesday at 8 on TV 50, your sports station in Detroit.
Well, Sid Abel, a hockey game that was perhaps turned around with that major penalty to Ted Bully when the Red Wings took good advantage of it.
Well, they jumped on the opportunity, Bruce, but the Red Wings did play a real good hockey game. They had excellent goaltending by Jimmy Rutherford. Esposito played a fine game on the other end. It was a big win for the Red Wings, and they've just kept their streak going.
Wings outshot Chicago 35-26, and this game wasn't decided until the play made by Reed Larson along the boards right at the end of the game. That was a puck where you can watch it right here, Sid.
Well, Reed Larson made a real good play along the boards. He stopped Filipoff before he could get over center ice. Then in just one motion, swished it towards the empty net, and he caught the net pretty well out in the middle, so he has an accurate shot. And I was going to mention, he wasn't shooting the puck tonight as well as he has been in games in the last few games that we played.
But he made no mistake with that one. So that's it, the final score here at the Chicago Stadium. The Detroit Red Wings 4 and the Chicago Blackhawks 2. We invite you to join us again next Wednesday night for the game between the Red Wings and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Our telecast time, 8 o'clock. Till then, Bruce Martin, along with Sid Abel, saying goodbye, and stay tuned, won't you, for the post-game show.
Every day the world awakens, people dream of what awaits them, getting ready to go on out and find their world. Every day we fly, we're showing the experience of knowing what the world wants when they want to fly. The world can have, we fly the world the way the world wants to fly. Pan Am, we fly the world the way the world wants to fly. Pan Am, we fly the world the way the world wants to fly. Pan Am, we fly the world the way the world wants to fly. Pan Am.
The post-game show is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Coke adds life to Red Wing hockey. And by Parts Plus, automotive name brands you can trust.
Give me a smile with everything on it, and I'll pass it on. So give me a Coke when you smile, and I promise to pass it along. I'm gonna pass it along. The world needs a break when it's tired and thirsty. Coke and a smile is how it should be. Coke adds life, Coca-Cola adds life.
Well, as we do in each of our telecasts, our winner of the Parts Plus award for the 2-box seats for the March 31st game against the Los Angeles Kings and the Red Wings is today Dale Hedham of Southfield, Michigan, who filled out his form at the Rico Auto Parts. Sid, a good victory for the Detroit Red Wings. It kind of makes you wish they'd started it about 6 weeks ago.
Had they started playing the way they are right now 6 weeks ago, they'd be fighting for a playoff spot. They're playing very disciplined hockey. Their defense are playing much stronger, Bruce. They're moving the puck up to the forwards, and when they can't get in, they move the puck back out to the defenseman, and they try a different angle. And it's solid team effort by all of them. It's pretty hard to say any one hockey player is playing better than another.
You hate to point at Jimmy Rutherford and say, well, he's the big difference in this hockey team right now, because certainly Rogie Vachon is a goaltender who is going to be good. We know that, but he hasn't had what you could call a great year this year. I think Rogie has taken the fact that he is now backing up Jimmy Rutherford with great class. But as for Jim Rutherford, he now in his last 9 games has won 5, lost only 2, and the other 2 in ties, and this has been a major reason, and the Wings seem to be tightening up in front of him.
Well, I think that's the main thing. They have tightened up in front of Jimmy Rutherford. They're playing much more disciplined hockey than they did in front of Rogie, not taking anything away from Vachon because he is a great goaltender and will be a great goaltender in the National League. But Rutherford is playing a hot hand. The players seem to have confidence with him, and they're moving the puck better than they have all season long, so they're winning.
And the other thing, I think, is the fact that Jimmy Rutherford, if we take over the last 5 games where the Wings are unbeaten, 3 wins and 2 ties, Jimmy has been in the nets, and I think prior to the game we were figuring out that he had given 8 goals in the last 4, so that would be a 2-goal a game against average, and that's winning hockey.
Well, he has played well, Bruce. We might as well just stay on that. His glove has helped him. He is very, very alert and quick. He has made stops on plays that have come through, like screen shots through mazes of players.
and that means that he's following the puck. He's not getting out of position. When he comes out of the net to clear a puck, he seems to know exactly what he wants to do. But they, as a team, are coming back and really rallying with them back deep in their own zone.
Well, the Red Wings skating off with a 4-2 victory after coming from behind, as we mentioned earlier, a very costly penalty, a 5-minute major penalty to Ted Bully. And the Red Wings took advantage of it, scoring twice within the first minute and a half of the penalty. And as it turned out, the 5 minutes, well, it did make a difference because he didn't come back on, with the major penalty having to be served in its entirety. But the fact that the Wings outshot Chicago, and most particularly in that third period, 12-6, I think shows that they did have indeed the edge in the play. We'll be back with Sid's, if you will, with Sid's Red Wing star of this hockey game after this.
Saturday night, go downtown, see the sights, girls and pinball, broken bright lights. Wish every day was Saturday night. Coca-Cola has light when the lights are bright. Wish every day was Saturday night. Coke has light, Coca-Cola has light.
Parts Plus, the sign of quality parts, competitively priced, plus the kind of service you can count on. Why do you buy from Parts Plus?
Well, they're when I want them with the parts I need.
Quality. With Parts Plus, I know I'm getting the best.
We've got a wide selection of hard-to-find parts. We get the answers that help us do it right.
Look for auto stores displaying this sign, Parts Plus, for automotive name brands you trust.
Sid, you've had an opportunity now to think the hockey game over and pick out your Red Wing star of this game.
Well, you know, winning makes a big difference in trying to pick stars. There were several I could have picked today. I could have picked Andre St. Laurent. I could have picked Errol Thompson because he set up a couple of goals, scored a goal, set up the winning goal. But I had to go to a defenseman. I thought the defense played well, and I thought Perry Miller in particular carried the play well all day, passed the puck up, scored the goal that actually turned out to be the winner. So he was my star of the game.
And for being Sid's Red Wing star of the game, Perry Miller receives an ice chest full of Coke from the Coca-Cola Bottling Company. Well, the Red Wings move on now to play the same Chicago Blackhawks in the game Tuesday night. That's something we've talked about from time to time, Sid, the importance of coming back and playing the same team a night or two later. Do you look for the same sort of a hockey game?
I would think so. In fact, I would say that Detroit should be able to come back and beat this hockey club. Chicago are going through the throes of trying to work 4 new hockey players, actually 5, into their lineup, and it takes time. You can't bring Filipoffs and Fox, Zaharko, Lysiak, and Ribble into an organization and within a week have them knowing just what's going on. Bobby Pulford, no doubt, plays a different type of hockey game than did the coach in Atlanta, and it's going to take these boys some time. Lysiak is the one, no doubt, that they want to see really get going. Talking about the 5, I thought Fox played very well for them tonight. He played an awful lot in defense, and he appears as though he's going to help him. Big Filipoff didn't do that much. Lysiak carried the puck, but...
Rutherford stopped Lysiak on 2 great chances early in this hockey game and may have slowed him up from that point.
Well, Lysiak is a good hockey player, Bruce. He was the #1 pick of Atlanta back a few years ago. He did mention, though, when coming over here, he was a little disappointed having to move. He was in love with Atlanta. He enjoyed it down there, and he didn't like the idea, but he'll find that he'll like hockey here in Chicago. This is a terrific hockey town, too.
Well, we look forward to the game next Tuesday night at Olympia against the same Chicago Blackhawks, and then on to Toronto for our next telecast, which will be next Wednesday night against the Maple Leafs from Maple Leaf Garden. I'll tug your ear. You're supposed to do that.
I did
did
that.
You do that? All right.
For your partner. I did that earlier.
So that's it from here at the Chicago Stadium with the final score again. The Red Wings 4, the Chicago Blackhawks 2. Bruce Martin along with Sid Abel saying goodbye from Chicago.
The post-game show was brought to you by Coca-Cola. Coke adds life to Red Wing hockey. And by Parts Plus, automotive name brands you can trust. Detroit Red Wing Hockey was brought to you by your AMC and Jeep dealers, home of the Jeep CJs, Cherokee, Wagoneer, and AMC cars. And by Labatt's. For beer at its finest, call for Labatt's. And by Bank of the Commonwealth, trying hardest to help. And by Little Caesars, a winner any way you slice it.